evil. Like, next morning, ground is covered in bone meal, forest to change, it's all spooky looking, all the wildlife is left. You mounted Kaganos in your most questionable move yet.
Can we
reprise
that?
I tried to avoid saying that because the only thing I could think is, okay, let's go. No, let's not.
Yes. The whole party is mounted gag now.
And
wow.
Following Urnan's directions, you guys headed east. On the way, Liam Markley, I love you so much. What is it?
Can I read a regular book?
Yes, you can absolutely read a regular book. If you do not come back, go to bed, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I love you. I'm not trying to be mean. You need sleep.
Night, buddy.
Good night. I love you. Okay.
What do you say?
He said, well, guess what? It is mean to me. The drama levels are really high.
Which one was that? The
eldest.
The kid who's pretty sure he's already a tween.
At one point, we had to start taking, like, if she got up out of bed during nighttime, she lost all screen time the next day.
Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Because she was literally up like 10 times a night.
Oh my gosh.
She had like 5 glasses of water every night. Like, I'm thirsty.
Dude, that's what he does too. It's like he won't drink all day and then he chugs it at night and he's like,
Yeah.
well, okay.
I have to pee. I have to pee again.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll start threatening screen time because I can't keep doing this. Anyway, so mounted Kaganos headed east. On the way, you were ambushed by a group of demons that you defeated, and you finished your journey. Ended up at this kind of like burrow thing. Slid down it as an entrance into the Feydark. Cog managed to persuade a hanging vine or a curtain of strangling vines to let you guys go through. So you continued down the tunnel for a ways, and you ended up at this wrought iron gate that kind of, blocked off further entrance into the Feydark. Outside the gate was hanging this little bell with a sylvan sign that read, please ring, which you guys did. And after several minutes, came back to where we were, where a man was stepping out of the shadows. He had just stark white hair and blue eyes, and like Elodie that you met in the Autumn Court, his incisors were very pronounced, hanging down over his bottom lip. He was dressed in a long black coat, and he kind of folded the hood back as he stepped out of the shadows and into the soft glow of the moss. He kind of looked you over for a moment and said, "Curious, we do not receive visitors often."
Wait, say that again. I didn't actually understand what you said.
It's been a really long night.
Oh, Jesus.
He kind of
Already.
tilts his head.
It was fine.
Urine.
Oh shit, I'm in character.
Then Urinin steps forward through the group and says, "And what about friends, then?" And as Urinin catches sight of, or as Chance catches sight of Urinin, you watch as they kind of like share the smile of familiarity. And Chance kind of leans in and goes, "Friends, there is always time for friends." Kind of starts fishing around in his robe and comes out with this like long key and unlocks the gate and steps back to let you guys move through.
So I feel like there's something going on between Chance and Urnit.
God, what a cute person.
Leah can't see. She's looking at her nails. Okay, so I'm gonna sidle on through the gate. Do I see, is there any distinct difference behind the gate as opposed to?
Roll a perception check.
Shit, I need to figure out how to do this.
For all of us who want to know.
Yeah, if you want to, you can all check it out.
I don't care about the gate.
Well, I'm looking around the gate.
I would look in every other direction.
Perception, you said?
Perception.
Rolling perception.
You can't really notice
Good
any
perception.
difference. The only thing that you can, kind of figure out from looking things over is this just frankly looks like a good place to have put the gate. It kind of narrows. It doesn't look like they had to do a lot of carving with the entrance. It's like the tunnel naturally narrowed here, and they just kind of built into it, making the gate at this point. There doesn't appear to be any kind of clear line that shows, okay, well, this was here and now this has changed.
Interesting. Okay.
Side note, I think my goblin has as many hit points as Leo.
You can just trade them out, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so, Kag, you move through. Yernan is close behind you. As he steps through, you do notice that Yernan kind of reaches over and just kind of like grabs Chance's arm for a moment, and there's this, kind of look of a visible reprieve and relief that they exchange before he just kind of moves on and lets the rest of you come through as well, should you so choose.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna.
I follow.
I mean, I'm gonna boldly just kind of be like, okay, sure.
You're gonna boldly follow?
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, I'm not, no trepidation. I'm just gonna go.
Nothing has gone wrong with trusting people in the Underdarks.
Jake just throws his
So
hand down.
you said Chance was wearing robes?
Yes, like a long black robe.
Does he look magey or like goth creepy?
Goth creepy. 100% goth
So
creepy.
he's got like buckles
Cultist.
on his boots and stuff?
Buckles on his boots? Is that what you
Why
said?
is my
Yes.
Why is my
Good question.
Go on.
where is my
I don't know.
Have you heard that part?
my favorite terrain is no longer on my list.
Because all your terrains are favored.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Oh, poor Felix. Tag, it is 100%. So the cloak that he's wearing is actually like a very fine looking material. Maybe like velvet, that kind of thing. He looks very well put together despite being a man that just stepped out of a cave. His hair is very finely combed. He does have on black boots that have very nice and polished buckles. His attire overall definitely strikes you as something that is more what you would expect to see in a court than a random cave hobo.
Question, what's the temperature like? Kind of like the air and everything.
A little chilly.
Like that.
Definitely got like that little bit like an underground. Very similar to what you felt in the Underdark in general. In fact, everything is
Are there large mushrooms around?
there are no large mushrooms. There are.
But it looks like there are on the screen.
That's true. How about this? There are no large mushrooms around yet. Not where you're standing. Cog, roll a nature check for me, please.
I should be good at this, right?
I want to roll one too.
It's intelligence based, so I'm terrible at
You
it. Oh, hey, look.
For a reason that's about to be very obvious. So, Cog, as you do step through and you're kind of looking around, you notice these mushrooms. They immediately strike you as familiar. And as you kind of bend down and get a look at them, you realize that these actually appear to be the same kind of mushrooms that you acquired underneath Grapplestug. The ones that.
Oh. I'm hearing honey through
You're
tabs.
turned off. Yeah, because she keeps turning off a microphone for some reason.
I don't know why.
Because I had to get up and then I come back and I forget. I said, oh no, we're gonna have to watch Leo.
Okay, you probably said this and I missed it, but
That's
what was the gate for? Was there a house? Or is it just on the
No,
road?
it's just a gate. It just appears to be and it goes from the.
No fence. You can walk around the gate. It's fine.
No, God. No. It's a gate that has like all of these, like it's got, the picture is like a shape of the moon and bats that are flying across it. And it appears as though the cavern naturally narrows into a tunnel at this point. And the gate looks nice, but it's definitely been built into the cave walls as it naturally occurred to just completely bar the entrance from anybody getting here.
This guy is the parking lot guard.
Pretty much, yeah.
Except
That's the
that he
impression you
looks
get.
like he's dressed for court instead of my cart.
You're
of
real
course.
fancy around here.
He has ambitions.
The scenario is 100% gate guard-ish, so.
So, was he just waiting there?
No, you guys rung the doorbell and about 5 minutes passed and he showed up.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's okay. Or the doorbell, the bell, so.
Ding dong.
It's okay, we're playing catch up. Keep doing this. If we do every scene this way, I got plenty of material.
We're good for the next year.
Gus only preps like half a page material.
Alright, so is he continuing to walk? We're following?
Yeah, he kind of steps back and pulls the gate open so everybody can come through, and as you guys do, he, kind of looks your group over for a moment, and, seeing Eurolith and Jacobus, you can see he's kind of, a little curious, a little more accustomed to, the likes of Dobby and Leo and Cog and Rafferty, but he goes, well, friends, welcome to the Feywild. Is this your first visit here?
Oh yes, very much so. Hey, I had a question. So is Fedar considered a part of the Winter Court or the Autumn Court, or are you your own thing?
Wow, that was just very.
It's an interesting segue.
I know, just like not even at all.
The political situation is complex.
I have no fucking idea what this guy's saying.
Wow.
I do.
I do.
How much have you had to drink already?
Show me to speak slowly.
Apparently he needs it.
Actually, funny story, I blame it because Cal grew up with Spanish speakers. He doesn't understand anyone with any kind of accent of English, like British people, Irish people. We'll meet Irish people and he's just dumbfounded.
I have no fucking idea what they're saying. That's fine, I'll keep it in character. Cog thinks this guy's speaking a different language.
Cog's an idiot.
He's adjusted to southern accents.
I was going to say, I hope so, because otherwise...
It helps because you guys talk real slow.
Oh, Cog!
It's true!
Oh, we can change that.
Anyway.
Oh yeah.
So he said, welcome. Okay, we're good.
You don't have to repeat for me. I'll keep it in character. I'm
Okay, so
good.
anyway, he goes, the political situation is complex. We sort of answer to both courts and no courts. It is our main goal to keep the Fomorians at bay. Why? Why do you ask?
I mean, we're just traveling through. We like to know what's going on.
Oh, well.
Who we get in trouble with?
Oh, no. If that is your concern, then individuals of both courts are welcome.
I mean, you said we, so somebody must be in charge of your...
Yes, Dion. Dion is the head. And he generally meets on the council.
Everything's really bad.
Okay,
Nope.
clearly
They're
he's
working.
done something.
Yeah,
Alright, you're back.
don't blame him.
Okay.
Yay, we have him back.
Lord Dion is the
I
head.
can't hear you, Cog. I'm sorry.
I'm taking notes! I use my quieter keyboard.
Can you turn down the volume on your keyboard, please?
Lord Dion is the head of our people, and he sits on the council of both the autumn, winter, spring, and summer courts.
Oh, how handy.
That's kind of a...
And he kind of gives Jurgen a bit of side eye at this, kind of like, okay. Very well.
Alright, now, my friend here said this was a shortcut to where we needed to go. How's that work?
Oh, and he kind of looks over at Jurgen at that.
I think it is, if I remember right.
You remember
Yeah,
correctly.
that's why we came here.
He looks over at Jurgen, but even more intrigued by that insinuation, and Jurgen goes, we find ourselves in a time of need, and perhaps we could find somewhere to sit and perhaps discuss and see what can be arranged in order to get us back to the Autumn Court as quickly as possible. Chance kind of, very well. If you perhaps would like a bit of reprieve then from your journey, we can go to where I stay and perhaps...
Oh yeah. What status were we at? Like, when was our last long rest? How long has it been? What is...
We had a long rest and we had one fight and then we came here.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't remember how long long the journey was.
I want to say it was 6 hours.
Yeah, I remember it was supposed to be 2 days, and then you mounted Cog.
Yeah, I want to say it was like 6 hours with the getting.
That you were mounted on Cog.
Yeah.
Very well. So Chance kind of like reaches into his cloak and ruffles around for him, and he comes out with this small, kind of like crystal ball that glows. It's very similar to the ones that you saw floating in the garden and the autumn court. It's like, if you would like to follow me, then I will show you.
I side-eyed the ball.
I will show you to a place where we can sit and perhaps discuss any ways that I can assist you with your needs.
Oh, that would be
Is
great.
it like just a glowy ball for
It's
light?
just a ball. Yeah, it's just a ball for light. As far as you can tell. So.
It's a doomsday weapon.
It's a doomsday weapon.
So, Schultz starts moving forward down the tunnel, and Yernan Schultz actually pushes ahead to make sure that he is kind of walking at his side, and they do walk a little closely.
I watch and wait for them to hold hands.
Schultz glances over his shoulder and kind of peeks at you guys again and notes casually to Yernan and goes, the group of recruits that you have brought are very unique and inquisitive. And,
We heard that.
Oh Lord.
And he kind of
I feel obligated to point out that Jackie did say that he would flirt with
He said the
He
lady.
did say that.
yeah, I think that's who he meant.
So, I don't think he knows it wasn't Elodie. I think he's clearly forgotten. So, Yernan, who is a little less amicable at the moment than Schultz, kind of tilts his head back and goes, they're not exactly recruits. And Schultz kind of is like, but you are so far from court. Surely you have done to do his bidding, no? And Yernan kind of cuts him off. He's like, it's an errand. It's not. Don't worry about it. We'll talk about it later. And just kind of cuts him short, and they keep walking. And with that, Schultz kind of looks back, and he kind of studies you guys a little bit more closely. You know, seeing kind of perhaps a little uncomfortable with the exchange, and he does return the wave, you know, and then just kind of keeps to himself and walks quietly, leading the way.
Dobby will ask him if he likes ale.
Personally, I am more of a tea and wine person. Is it something you favor, though?
It is. I make it, and I have some if you'd really like to try it.
Oh,
I will share.
that is very kind of you. I am told that on the surface there is a group of brewers, they are centaurs. They make a very good ale that will put even the most flustered individualities.
I need to meet them.
I got like half of that.
Yeah.
There's a group of centaurs that makes an ale that will do something to even the most.
Oh, you didn't get that part either.
Even the most flustered of people. I'm a foreigner, I understand. Y'all get a hang of yourself.
These people live closer to you than they live to us.
But Dobby does the last part of that little like.
I love y'all.
And a baby!
Alright, you can't bring the baby unless we get to see the baby.
Wait, what?
I want to see the baby.
We demand baby pictures.
They want baby pictures.
Hook us up with the.
Well, you can hold them up for me to take a picture.
Listen.
Just hold it by a foot.
He's getting some time on his stomach right now.
You just give us the password to the connection to the baby cam. We'll splice that in.
And we can all relate to the struggle bus.
Oh, he's on it now.
Aww.
Oh, poor guy.
Yes, he's pissed.
The baby.
I'm gonna send him some pissed off pictures.
I'm just thinking, oh, you are making that baby mad for us.
Why?
Time is the best.
Why are you pinching him?
Yeah. Hey, that's what I said.
Well, no,
Nice
he does
fat
not like
baby.
he does not like time off.
Oh, poor guy.
That is not his stomach.
Oh, he's got his mommy though. He's happy because he's got his mommy.
You'd think that.
He is, he just doesn't know it. He'll learn.
He'll learn. Time.
Oh, he knows who she is. He's just he's
no.
very clear on his demand.
Okay.
He's like, no.
Okay.
Man, he's
So-
pissed.
He is
Yeah.
mad.
Okay.
I know all of our.
It's all the mommy hormones. They're like, it's okay, buddy. It's okay. Okay.
I'm like, what, is there a baby crying? What?
it's like real life. Okay. So, I completely lost my train of thought.
Oh.
There's a cat.
Wait, what? Okay. So,
Just hand it to me, sweetie. I'll take care of it.
Schultz continues to just like lead the way quietly. Oh no, my computer's freaking out. It's not a long walk, thankfully. It takes you guys about, 5 minutes or so. But during the time, Leo, you actually start to feel kind of like this irritation on your side, just kind of like this. It's a little bit of like a subtle itch that, maybe it's something about the way your clothes are rubbing, or, the humidity, it's just something uncomfortable.
Who is this?
Leo.
Leo.
I don't
Kind
like
of
it.
knocking at your side.
Dobby, I'm hurt.
You hurt.
I'm going to make sure.
Can you hear me?
Got a thing on my side. Somebody, I must have got stabbed or something. Can you hear me?
Oh, bless God.
You're not hurt.
It's itching.
I'll look him over.
Right here. Look, there. Itchy.
So you go and you kind of look at the side of his robes. Nothing. There's no tear in the robes. There's no indication
You
that
have a good
anything
look around the
bad.
blood. Probably.
There's no blood. Would you please just? Okay, look. Do you want to step aside and I'll lift your robes and I'll look? But there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Just
I'm just
heal
gonna
me.
watch.
Hey!
I'm.
Cag just has to
You're
be weird.
okay. There is nothing wrong with you.
I don't actually know if I'm wearing robes.
He's actually been naked this whole
He
time.
has a shirt. It's easier to look at. And
I went entirely based on your profile picture. It can be whatever you want.
Alright.
do you have pants on? If you have pants, I'll look at your side.
God doesn't,
Nope.
so there's no pressure.
I don't even want to
Kind of
know.
no pressure.
This is
I show
tunic.
her.
The tunic
I
gives
show
me
her
the
all
armor
good
class I
spots.
need.
Okay, so you lift up, show the good spots.
When she's calm, guys.
It's okay.
Bye, says. I'm sorry.
What you see, Dobby, is you kind of look over his side, and you don't really see anything, but as you move around, you kind of look like, I guess a little bit behind him. You notice that there appears to be like this kind of brown, flaky material that is actually on top of his skin.
Just poop.
You're. Oh.
Okay,
yeah,
fix
you
it.
do have
Like
something.
psoriasis?
Yes, I told you. Now fix it.
Okay.
Does it like come off?
It's not supposed to come off. It's supposed to be healed.
Honey's face is my favorite part of the whole night.
Well, okay.
Touch it.
You heal everybody else all the time. Just heal me. Let's go on with it.
Is it poop or
I'll try
chocolate?
casting a
Poop
cure
or
wounds
chocolate?
on it to see if it does anything.
Okay.
Oh,
You cast
Lord,
Cure
you're gonna
Wounds.
waste the spell?
Yeah.
And
It's hurting.
nothing really changes.
Still itching.
Okay, I'll try lesser restoration on it.
Okay.
Here goes my spells.
So you go and you cast Lesser Restoration, and you do notice that the brown patch seems to kind of like the layers that were on top seem to fall away, and the redness underneath does seem to kind of like subside, and slowly just kind of soon back into his normal complexion.
Oh, that's better. Do that again.
And the itching subsides.
I'll I'll try it again. Here goes all my spells.
It's already. You can do it again, but from your point of view, like it's fine now. Like everything is gone.
Okay.
Yeah, everything's good.
Give it a little time. The itching will go away. You should be okay now. If you feel any of these other spots like this, let me know. Yeah.
You fix them?
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay. Okay.
So have we stopped while this is happening? Did they leave us?
Yeah, they would have waited for you.
That's very oddly at this point.
So after about 5 minutes, as you guys walk on, the cave widens into a full-blown cavern, closer to the one that you see on your map, filled with luminescent mushrooms of varying heights, shapes, and colors. They all give off the same kind of soft neon glow that actually kind of dances along the cavern wall in a display very reminiscent of the northern lights. Todd, here you see a lot of the smaller mushrooms that you saw before. Same kind, bigger though. The ones that you acquired in the Underdark that are here seem to be, they just grow better in this environment, if that makes sense. They're more luscious, brighter. Felix!
You haven't missed much.
He's
Good
amazing.
news.
Yeah.
We've moved about 10 feet,
Leo of some weird fungus.
and I almost threw up. So
Yeah.
So,
And you flirted with Chance, but I don't think anything happened. Or Chance.
you need to do another charisma check.
Hey, I found out there's some centaurs, and they have this ale, and it's supposed to be really good and not.
Do we know Felix
your
actually there?
ass.
Yeah, it works.
He's here.
He's muted. Like he's in chat, but he's muted.
Well, fine.
I can hear you now. My phone
Good.
was messing
Did
up.
you hear me about the centaurs? The most important part.
Nobody cares about your ale centaurs.
Well, it sounds pretty sweet to me right now, to be honest.
Hey, see? Look,
Okay.
Jackie gets me, okay?
oh, also, you left your crown at the entrance to the gate, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry, we buried it so
Voluntarily.
nobody would find it.
I actually attached it to my Prince Albert, so we're good. I still got it.
So.
Well, we need a new campaign.
Okay.
All right. I'm not gonna interrupt
Okay. Hold on. Let me scroll up. I have to. My kids broke my iPad, so I'm on the other computer. It's throwing me off. Okay. So, as you guys enter to the entrance of this cavern, from the cavern, actually, there is a trail leading over to the right. That's a path painted on the ground in black scroll work. That just kind of leads over towards this little humble abode. It's this gigantic mushroom that has a couple of windows, several windows, and a door that are kind of peeking out of it, and another wrought iron fence that kind of surrounds it, forming this kind of yard with a cute little gate in front of it. The combination of these two aesthetics is really odd. You have these very finely crafted accents. The door is very well made, the scrollwork is very elaborate, the fence is just beautiful, and it's all stuck around this mushroom. It very much strikes you as like perhaps this prior noble that was like impoverished or thrown out with what few possessions he had left, just this kind of someone who appears to have been once lived a much more lavish lifestyle that's somehow kind of become this hermit in the woods and has just kind of brought his things with him. Schultz says Misabito. He leads the way over to the wrought iron gate and once again opens it for you and goes, I am afraid
It's a wrought iron gate in a mushroom.
No, it's like a yard. It forms like a fence around. Think like white picket fence, but Gothic. With little spikes on top and stuff. He says, I am afraid that I am ill-equipped to receive visitors. It is not frequent for me, but my arrangements are a little small. And Yernan actually cuts into that and he goes, cozy. They're cozy, and Chance kind of offers him like a polite smile of gratitude. He's like, still there is plenty of room in the garden if you would like to go and see it, and this way I will show you. And he kind of passes the gate to the next person and moves around the side of the mushroom, and then back there behind the mushroom you actually do find this surprisingly large, pristine flower garden. The variety of the different kinds of bushes and arrangements and just the large blossoms of flower easily best even the royal gardens that you've seen on the material plane. Most of the flora is foreign to you. Their buds are bigger and brighter, as is everything in the Feywild, than what you find naturally in your own world. But you do notice that over near one of the fences there is a set of 3 rose bushes. They, being here in the Feywild, they're perfect. They have these huge blooms. The flowers are very big, but they do look a little more mundane than their Feywild counterparts. Yerman actually immediately is kind of drawn over to this area though, and he kind of reaches out a hand and starts kind of like rubbing at the petals as everybody else makes their way into the garden. Schultz just kind of waits for all of you, and he kind of motions to a couple of benches, and which are just kind of scattered about. There does appear to be like a main seating area in the middle that is kind of like a low table and like 4 benches around it.
It's very nice. Is
thank
this where you live?
Yes, this is till the time until I have a change of station. This is where I reside. Yes.
Changes.
So you're just keeping watch and people coming and going?
Generally, people do not come so much. If they have business in the court, then sometimes they come. But I make sure the Fomorians do not get out, and that nobody gets in that might be causing any kind of trouble. Yes.
Tell me, what are Fomorians?
They are these nasty creatures. They were, I think for you they are most akin to maybe like giants. They were on the surface here once, but they became too greedy and were the Celadrin deformed them as a result, and they were cast down into the Feydarka. To my understanding, it is a story not unlike your Drow, the Dark Elves, yes?
Never heard of them.
It's an interesting part of the story. Okay.
So you fight against the Fomorians?
Yes, they are very wretched creatures. They are very greedy, hunger for power, and it is our job to make sure they stay in the Feydark, away from the surface, and that their corruption is contained.
So they were giants, or they are giants?
No, not no. The court, my people. That is our job. They are they now? It's difficult to say. Would you call a drow an elf?
No.
See, I would not call it a Fomorian a giant either.
But if somebody comes out, it's just you here. What that doesn't.
They have been a bit rowdy lately, but not so much in this part. This is not a very populated area for them. And there are also a series of gates that go deeper and deeper. And I am at the upmost part, if this makes sense. Mostly I am here, so if for some reason they were to come, I sound the alarm, so to speak, and then others will come to assist me. But it is
So your position is more ceremonial than anything else.
in truth, yes. I am a gate guard, I suppose.
Inside check.
Okay, well, inside check.
He's really a serial killer.
You're a last resort.
Nothing.
That's super
He's
mediocre.
The most honest person you've ever met.
Well, shoot.
That's not true. He knows me.
Sadly, Davy can roll wonderful insight checks.
It's not a typo this time. She's Danny now.
I never think about it. Yeah, I know. I mess up all the time.
It's okay. I'm gonna say everybody's name wrong today.
Yeah.
Okay. So he seems legit. Does he look like a fighter? Like.
Roll a perception check.
Are you checking his bulging muscles?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
He does
Holy cow.
not. He does not look like a fighter. In fact, from your experience, Cog, you would be willing to bet that this guy has like no military training. He doesn't carry himself that way. He doesn't appear. He appears very courtier in the same way that he dresses. He doesn't appear. He seems a little confused by your presence, but he doesn't in any way. For somebody who's guarding a gate, he doesn't appear like off-put. I mean, he lets you in pretty easy. You know, he hasn't questioned you in any way.
Are there weapons on him, around him, on the walls?
No.
This is somebody's son who slept with somebody.
Yeah, pretty much. So, so you're a gate guard.
Yes, I think this is the closest that you could say yes.
Interesting. Is there a word in a different language? Does it just not translate well?
No, I think it is more so that our entire purpose is to guard. Well, not entire purpose. That is not fair. Our primary purpose in the Feywild is to guard against the Fomorians because we prefer to live in this environment, and it is beneficial to the court and to us for us to be here. But it is the positions, the roles. It is not so much a
what is Sean's again? What is he called? What is he considered? What is the
Eladin,
phrase?
whatever.
He looks like the Eladrin of the Feywild, but whereas the other Eladrin that you encountered very much appeared to resemble a season, he is pale. He's got the same features, but he's got the protruding teeth, the white skin, the light eyes, the white hair.
But didn't they call him something else when we were at the meeting with that woman who came from there? What did they call?
Well, you should have written that down. Sounds like.
Okay, get a quiet one real quick and go, okay? Okay, I love you.
Cog, W40 is in every store.
So, actually, it's funny. That door just started creaking this morning, and I thought of it this morning. I was like, it's because I actually went around and greased all the door hinges, like 2 months ago. So, yeah, that's a recent development. Makes me sad.
That is more than you've done, Tab.
Ooh.
Let's see.
Mine down creek, did they?
If there is a name for it, Leah, I
don't think we have a name for them because I've been itching to ask him what he is.
Vampire.
Yeah, exactly.
Vampire.
You're a vampire. I immediately pull my stake out and stab him in the neck.
But yes, primary.
I guess you're a very bad vampire hunter.
Not well read.
We only had a reason to even consider being mistrustful.
Our primary purpose in the Feywild is to keep the Fomorians at bay. For the most part, they very rarely attempt to cause a ruckus. That has been different as of late. They have been a lot more active. But no, I suppose it's not that it doesn't translate well. It is simply that it is a very flux position that I find myself in, yes.
So, do you all have any particular... Have you noted any reason they might be more active here? Or lately?
I am afraid that that is business for Lord Dion to discuss. It is not information to be dealt with for a simple gate guard such as myself.
But you know something and you just prefer not to divulge it.
I am afraid, sir, that I am bound by
Inside check.
and I'm I've got the peace hands up and I'm like, yeah, I totally get it.
I am certain that if you have been traveling with Yun, you are aware that oaths are a very delicate subject for my people.
Oh, of course. Yes, absolutely.
I am sworn very heavily to protect the interests of Lord Dion.
And I would never want to cause any issue that would cause you to break it
That
up.
is very kind of you. Insight check.
I have a question.
You can roll an insight check. I'm down.
Roll persuasion. Roll persuasion.
Seriously?
Seriously.
But I'm being honest.
You still have to persuade somebody that you're being
She can't wave. She loves her daddy too much.
You get him. Now my turn. Oh,
Mm,
my baby. I love you.
okay. And as you say that, he kind of looks at you, and he keeps a cordial smile, and he kind of looks at Urinin as well, you know, kind of like this.
So the room you said was there's 4 benches.
So the garden is very large. I would give you links, but I suck at that.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's probably
How many football fields?
It's probably about 20 feet by like 15 feet. It's a sizable garden. It's like a nice sized yard that has been all done up.
20 feet by 15 feet can fit
This is 10 feet.
6 people.
This is 10 feet, right? Our office is 10 feet.
Yes.
Okay, anyway, it's big and it has benches, Kyle.
Use
It fits people.
I have a quick question for the GM.
Yes.
You said something earlier about drow.
Yes.
Was that him talking or you talking?
That was him talking. He was saying that
Can you not tell the difference?
So no, I can remember. So he mentioned the drow.
he
So
mentioned the drow.
in that case, Davi has a question.
Just skip it.
Okay.
Take care of the pill. Brush your
She
teeth.
will go up and
Mouthwash.
say, so Shantz,
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned the drow.
Yes.
How are you familiar with the drow? They're
Oh.
from the Primaterial plane, are they not?
Oh, they are, but we are, the people of the Feywild are very familiar. Well, not everyone, but there are those of us who are very familiar with the workings of the material plane. There are those of us that travel
Is it-
between.
Is the veil thin here?
In this spot, no, not so much, but there are places where it is, yes.
Do you know where those are?
There are some that I know of, yes.
Would you be willing to share that with us?
I am afraid that once again this falls under information that is in the possession of Lord Dion, not myself.
She'll insight check.
Okay, roll an insight check.
I have a reason to. I'll probably do crappy.
Good job.
Yeah,
He
no.
seems honest. He seems very
Okay.
forthcoming with everything you've asked, even in his reluctance to answer.
I understand oaths.
It is difficult. There are times when I would make a different judgment, but I suppose that is why I am not the Lord. The simple gate guard.
If it comes up and you had the opportunity to speak well for us, would you do it?
I suppose time will tell, but it is early for this question.
Can you give us a recommendation at the last 5 minutes of
I
been again? It's been
understand.
weird at you.
Hush, Leo. I understand. This is my conversation. I understand that. But give us a chance.
I will say this: if it is, if you wish to have a good word with Lord Dion, Yeoman is just as likely to have a strong influence on his opinion as I am. And Yearnin very curtly is like, shh.
Davi will just look at Yarnan and grin. And then offer him her skein of ale or whatever.
He kind of sighs and looks down and just intentionally averts his gaze as he starts picking at his nails. Very well
It
then.
won't bother her in the slightest.
Perhaps before we continue, you might like to take a rest, make yourselves at home, and we will go and prepare perhaps some refreshments, and then maybe we can discuss how I might assist you, and if there's anything to be done.
I guess that seems reasonable. Do you have enough accommodations for us, or should we
Uh,
find a spot?
For sitting, I think it is best if we stay in the garden. My home is very small, but I have tea and pastries and other things that I can bring for a modest meal at least. Yes.
Pastries. Wow. Yeah, that would be spectacular. Yeah, at the very worst, it won't rain on us. So yeah, we're accustomed to this.
There we go. Okay. And he turns very pointedly down and he's like, young man, perhaps you could assist me. I believe it will require 2 trays. And Yernan does not even look up and just turns and walks to follow Chance. And he heads around the mushroom and into his house.
They're gonna do it.
I don't think they're gonna have time to do it, but
I mean, it's been a long time on the road.
Time works differently in the Feywild.
Yep.
That's true.
And how much time do you really need?
Well, I mean, you know.
Alright, so did anyone else notice that our gate guard doesn't have any weapons on him?
Maybe he's a mage.
He doesn't
I don't
seem
have any. Well, I do actually. Never mind.
very gate guardish.
Well,
He
I mean,
literally said he has nothing to do.
yeah, he said this place, they don't get any visitors hardly and no activity, so he's clearly somebody who is, for whatever reason, not...
He's the welcome wagon. He's a diplomatic attaché. He's an envoy.
But you would think normally those kinds of envoys would have some kind of military or, if not military, like civil presence, right? Like, you would have at least someone who had a shield.
Well, have you seen many people with shields around here? I mean, there's not many of them.
Are you asking this as a druid? I'm just curious. As a tribal druid even, right? I mean...
Yes, not tribal, but yes.
I mean...
I mean, weapons are pretty overrated.
I mean, fair.
mean,
Are we suggesting we should test him and see how good he is in a fight?
It seems odd that the outermost gate to the Feydark would have someone who just seems completely untrained.
Yeah, but I mean, he also explained that, you know, there's a lot more gates between the surface and the Fomorians that they would have to go through before they ever got to this point.
I mean, I suppose they're more concerned with things getting out than things getting in. So that's
They
fair. I just feel like my last resort plan wouldn't be that guy.
Well, maybe
I mean-
he really is a last resort. Maybe there's only a handful of them. I mean, who knows?
That's
It's
fair.
also the fact that, I mean, things in the Feywild seem to operate a lot
Wait,
court system. They seem to follow it pretty strictly. I mean, do you think they have that many dangers except for the whatever he said?
Fomorians?
Seems to be the only concern they have, because everybody else are fear of the winter court and spring court and the archface.
Yeah, I suppose that's fair. I don't know. It just seems odd. I wouldn't make that decision, but I guess things are different here.
I mean, when he comes out again, we can have Jacob jump him and see how he does.
I mean, that's
If the crown lets him.
I don't work.
You cut out.
I said I don't work for the crown.
Does the crown work for you?
That's the real question.
It is.
I mean, look at me. Of course it works for me.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you look fantastic, Jackie.
Thank you, Dowdy.
You're welcome.
So then, okay. So I
I'm
guess
more
we're spending the
concerned
night
with-
here.
I guess. I don't know. I'm more concerned with the fact that the house is going a mile underground, supposed to get us back there faster.
I mean, there may be some kind of portal or...
There's lots of things in this world we don't understand, Leo. Like, why the hell did you have fungus growing on you?
Yeah,
I
let's
was
talk
injured in
about that a little
combat.
That is
No,
pretty odd.
obviously this fungus queen thing, dog, whatever we saw in the
I
other
haven't
world.
heard from her in weeks.
Oh, I imagine you will.
She doesn't call. She doesn't write.
No, I mean, and if she does, that's fine. She can bring us back. We need allies,
Yeah,
right?
to where? I'm not going back to freaking Underdark.
You're going into Underdark right now.
This is
No, I'm going
Vadar.
to Feywild.
This place is actually attractive looking. Like
I mean,
if you squinted a little bit, it would be like the sun was going down.
It's a dark hole in the ground.
There's lights. Look. See? Lights.
Those are not lights. Those are things glowing in the big hole in the ground.
Davi's gonna go find some of those roses and sit down next to him and just drink her ale. Think of home.
Can I see if there's any herbs or useful plants other than the shrink and grow mushrooms
Sure.
out in the?
Can be not Lucius garden.
Outside, so within the garden or outside the garden?
Let's start inside the garden.
Okay.
I will help.
Okay, roll a nature check.
Advantage. That's
Davi will
Not
not
great.
help because she's too busy feeling
Okay,
sorry
I
for
just
herself.
will try myself.
I think once you help, you can't.
So, you guys
I
can
find,
look
I find
around.
me a scratching stick.
He's got to sharpen his claws.
You guys can look around. And a lot of the flora is not familiar to you. I'm looking at you here. Don't look at me there. It's confusing. A lot of the flora isn't familiar to you. But even still, from what you can gather, it does appear to all be aesthetic. Everything has very waxy leaves and very, like everything is floral. Everything has a flower. And
Okay, dog?
it definitely appears to have this kind of like
Rocket.
color coordination to it, and there appear to be very planned heights, and all the bushes are very well trimmed. Like it looks like there is a professional gardener that tends to this place daily. Even the ground, it appears as though topsoil has been brought in. There's grass flowing. It has the floating sunlight globules. It in no way strikes you as a practical garden.
Interesting. That dude is gardener.
Right around this time, you actually hear footsteps coming, and led by Jean, he and Iranen come back around the side of his building. They're each carrying a tray, and in the middle of the garden where there's that kind of like low coffee table area, Jean walks over and he sits down, and it has a very nice tea kettle on it. And it's, just like a normal kind of black tea kettle. It's very well cared for, and there are a number of little teacups set around it, and there's a little sugar bowl. And, Uranin follows in behind him, and he has this platter of these kind of like little spongy, like saucer cakes. They're pretty small, and he's got berries and a bowl of what appears to be whipped cream, and, little spoons and plates for serving and everything. Schultz gestures, he goes, I have tea for the sugar, sugar for the tea, I should say. If anyone would like milk, there is also Spider's milk available, if that is to your taste.
No, I say just a little sugar.
This is a joke because spiders don't make milk. They are not mammals. It was not a very good joke. It is fine.
You never know around here. We kind of take it how it comes.
That is understandable. This is how I feel when I am in the material plane as well.
Oh, so you visited?
Oh yes, fairly frequently. I have business there.
Really? Which parts?
It depends. It is depends upon the political situation and should we say the thirst for power that so frequently accompanies the human spirit.
It's a lot.
Interesting. So, do you deal with humans very often?
Only if they require to be dealt with.
Wait, so
Even.
I have to confess I'm very interested in this. Are humans trying to come to the Feywild? The Feydark?
It is not so much this as it is and he kind of pauses and
he looks at Yernan and they kind of exchange a moment. He goes, it is a long story. Perhaps we could start somewhere more basic and work up to it. Yes.
Interesting.
For example, Yernan tells me you are academics, no? Demonologists.
Leo
Yes.
is over in the corner trying to scratch his back with a stick.
It would be very slow.
Wow. We do have. I'm going to speak up as Leo's assistant, and he is otherwise occupied, since apparently that's what I am.
I'm currently missing the best time ever. Sorry, guys, he's gassy. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it here.
It's okay,
Okay,
Saz.
says,
Go be daddy.
I've been there. I feel you.
At this rate of progress, I'm not missing much.
That's okay. Remember, if my character dies, I'm going to wild magic this entire campaign into shambles.
Don't worry, we're all gonna
We're
heal
gonna
him.
keep you safe.
Finger guns.
Alright, go talk to French Bamians.
Hey,
Yeah.
on that note, can I stab my friend?
Can you what?
Can he stab?
Stab him.
Shots?
I would like to kill Rafferty.
Oh.
No.
He's gonna come
Use
back.
command on him. Use command on him.
He's gonna come back as a wild magic character. You know that, right?
Yeah, that's why he
Yeah,
wants
that's
to
that's
kill him.
exactly what I love.
Oh
Then we
my
have to kill
God.
Jacobus too, though.
We need some more randomness in our lives.
With this group?
If she had rolled an 8 instead of a 10, it would fireball the ship we were standing on and kill her.
Oh.
It was close.
It was close. Anyway, no. So Earlith will say, yes, we have some experience with hunting demons, and of course we are trying to lend our expertise here while we apparently find ourselves stuck here in the Feywild.
You're stuck. I did not realize that you did not come willingly.
No, we found ourselves here, but we believe that perhaps we have, yeah. But while we're here, we may as well be useful. And the Autumn Court has been very, very welcoming. So
That is very optimistic of you. So back in the material planes then, which cult is it that you serve there? I am not overly familiar with the material geography, but perhaps it is a city I have visited.
the material plane doesn't work the same as the Feywild.
No, this is true, yes, but you have kingdoms and nobility that rule, yes. Where would you say home is?
Where would Dragonborn be from?
Wherever you want to be.
I don't know that we had a name for you, but I'll tell you what.
Dragony.
Well, because I assume that there is geography and cities and towns and what have you.
Yes,
I mean-
Scope Forgotten Realms.
You're talking about Forgotten Realms, which is everybody is kind of crammed in everywhere.
We can just go with it and say that whatever town you say, if you want to make one
Say
there,
Waterdeep.
It's the honest answer, or it can be the deceptive answer, and we can just go with it.
I mean, I don't know, because I don't know what any of the names of any
Or you
cities are.
can.
That
You
sounds
can
like a character development failure.
You can just Cog. You can just not answer
Sounds like
and look
somebody should have
pointedly at Cog, who has now earned it.
I keep expecting to see a hand reach over and smack him.
I totally punched him once already.
I mean, I don't know any of the geography. That's where I mean, I
Waterdeep.
can say where I'm from, but I have no idea where anything is.
Say
I'm
Waterdeep.
sorry, what else Gene is trying to say is that we're traveling a bit all over, and we're really calling it our home. We all come from different places.
Oh,
Like,
that's very
Waterdeep,
interesting.
Neverwinter, we've all been all over, but
Given the diversity of your group, this is not surprising. So how is it that you all came to meet then?
well,
Sure.
Oh, well, that is a funny story.
Well, you see.
what happened was that we all got invited on a journey on our version of, the Underdark.
Invited
we
is
all
maybe an aggressive statement.
What do you mean? Is that we got captured by the crowd?
Separately.
We don't like.
And as you say that, Yernan kind of peeks up, and Chance looks directly over at him. He goes, "Captured by the trial, is it? And now you find yourself in the Feywild. Roll a persuasion check, Bobby."
Sure.
Do good.
Never go wrong.
Where Davy ruins our entire standing, and we're gonna get chased out on court.
So we get stabbed in the face. Alright, that's good.
That is
Very much.
a grave misfortune, one that has altered the lives of many, to my understanding. I am relieved to see that you have escaped your captivity relatively unscathed.
It was
I would
actually
like to
somewhat
point
of
out
a.
I wasn't captive.
It was actually somewhat of
Trying
a
to
fortuitous
for being
circumstance.
captured, but
We really didn't anticipate ending up here, but we're here now.
What Davy is trying to say is that it was fortuitous circumstance, really, we all got together, because while our time spent in the Underdark, we found our face-to-face with several demon lords and the spawns that now seems to be affecting the Feywild. And while we didn't choose to come here, but it just really helped our investigation.
Very interesting.
Sit
But
down.
I love these people.
She's been drinking.
So,
Wait, is she talking about us?
it may be fair to say then that your circumstances less planned and more serendipitous, perhaps?
To start off with, yes.
But now we're a group.
So, given that you have cracked many demon lords, then might I ask, how have you successfully handled these sorts of infestations in the past?
Man, look at the time.
Well, to be fair, I've never seen anything of this extent before. I don't know if you have.
Oh,
But this
no.
happens often in the Fade Arc. It seems to be pretty unique here as well. So,
Yes,
I don't
unfortunately.
know if anybody's ever successfully handled something like this.
The first thing we don't do, listen to Cag.
this is true.
Hey.
What Davi's trying to say is she's working on her sense of direction.
He kind of watches all of you and he looks at Yernan and says something a little under his breath.
You know that's rude.
He turns his eyes to you, Jacobus, and goes, "And what of you then? Are you royalty in the material plane?"
Was I what?
Royalty.
Yeah, see?
Well, yes.
He's in
obviously.
Canada.
Interesting. So then,
For a gate guardian, you're awfully inquisitive.
yes, well, it is, as I have said, it is not often that we have people who come down into the Feydark, much less seeking to individuals from the material plane who are seeking to traverse the rivers. It is, I suppose, my duty to ensure that you are who you claim to be, should we say.
Well, Aaron has been in our company since we left the Autumn Court.
That
To be fair, I don't think we claim to be anybody.
No, I think we're pretty much who we claim to be.
Why is Dobby still talking?
She's highly inebriated.
Honey, yes, honey, yes.
No, Dobby has been sitting there drinking.
She's been drinking the whole walk in. I've been watching her.
Honey, yes, you're right, honey has.
The person sitting in the rose bushes should not be listened to right now.
I'm just getting in character.
So we have he gestures towards Jacobus royalty from some cult.
And what of you two? And he gestures to Kag and Leo. You are related somehow, or
Wait, me and who?
you and Leo?
I think that's pretty racist.
I'm gonna look at Leo, and I'm gonna look at Chance. I'll look at Leo again and be like, nope, nope, mm-mm.
How come?
I mean, there's a chance in your family trees. Hey,
Definitely no. That's like the strongest no I've ever given.
I mean, cousin of a cousin of a cousin, maybe? I don't know.
Nope. Mm-mm.
We'll have to investigate this when we get back.
How common is it then for your people to have this intermingling of the elves and the humans?
I mean, my parents did this several times.
Wow. That's unexpected. Alright.
Do you have any siblings then?
Oh yeah, at least I think two. Last I knew.
Asta,
Yes.
can Davi please roll a history check to see if she knows how often it is, or
Go
how
for it.
common it is?
Yes, go for it. What is it? Come here, give me a hug.
Please be a natural 20.
Okay,
Damn it.
I'll hug you. Hold on, I'll hug you. Come here. Come here, buddy.
We can still see you on the camera.
They can see you. They can see you.
Daddy.
I was gonna start talking to Chance, but then I realized Chance is out. He's outside.
Yeah, done help.
I can't believe I'm busy doing a history check. You shush.
It's a Felix.
Almost.
Hi, Felix.
Hey,
I mean, he's been here, but
Well,
I don't see it.
Okay.
we don't see you.
So
There
we go.
There he is.
Now I see everybody but Leo. Now I see everybody.
he's hiding out in his room.
Davi, it isn't like that often, to your knowledge. You've gotten the idea that there seems to be a certain stigma, both among humans and elves, about half-elves. You don't really know the whole history and drama of it. It seems kind of silly to you. I mean, you just generally being a person that's met a lot of people, and you like people. I mean, but people have got bigoted opinions everywhere, So.
It's just not real common, but people get all weird about it.
I
and
gotta
it's
look at
really
Carl
kind of
like he's still talking.
stupid.
Yeah,
And
I'm
I
just
don't
gonna
like
look
this
at
too.
Leo and just be like, who the fuck is she? Like, what's happening right now?
These two, I'm telling you, it's just this is the way it is, okay?
And do not get me wrong. This is not something that offends me. It is not something. I mean, there are no humans in the Feywild, so to speak. So it is not something that we see much. But I personally, I am very in favor of love in all of the form that it takes. Should we say?
Good, that's really good.
Yeah, we can tell.
Yep.
Openly, Yernan openly rolls his eyes.
We determined that already.
So then you feel that your purpose is primarily what, to get home, or to see that the demons are vanquished?
I think that varies depending on who you ask in the group, but I have a very sound investment in figuring out what's going on here.
Oh, and
The
like,
thing is, this invasion of the demons here does not only threaten the Feywild. I mean, it's threatening, from what it seems, several planes, and I don't think there's an escaping from it. So, not solving the problem is not really an issue. Choice.
I suppose that does make sense if what you say is true. This is because you have seen the demons on the material plane as well, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
There were several there, and there's. I mean, I don't know how widespread it was. We were only a small area, and we discovered it in the material plane. But if it's a widespread as is here, it can cause, chaos all over the place.
Well, if it is true that it is in one, then it is true they are in at least 3 of the planes, no? This is how the universe works, to my understanding.
Yes.
So, though the shadow fell, this is not of my concern. Let them take it. But and he gestures to God. You said though that for you, you wish to see the demons vanquished. You have a personal investment in this objective.
Yes. I'm actually originally from High Forest, and we've had some issues with demon incursions into our woods.
Are there any
For a
mountains
long
near High
time.
Forest?
Yes,
These
there are mountains near High Forest. You can't be from High Forest. It's mine. I did my research. You stay from High Forest.
She's from High Mountain.
this is actually a circumstance I am familiar with. The incursion, as it was. It is also it is also a place that there have been what is the word? Activities in that area too that I know of, yes.
Wait, I'm gonna look at Leo for a translation.
I was looking at the High Forest map. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna look at I'm gonna look at Davi and I'm gonna pause and then I'm gonna move on to Jacobus for a translation.
Davi is in the process of getting very drunk.
Wow.
I mean, hasn't she been the entire time?
No, but she is now intentionally.
So now that I've tried to query the entire group for help and no one has offered me anything, I'm now gonna stare at Yernan and be like, what?
Help for what?
What did he say?
Yernan kind of sighs and he goes, he's saying that he's familiar with High Forest and the demonic activity that occurs there, and he's also aware that there have been a number of individuals in the past that have been taken by the drow from that region.
Yeah. Interesting. So then obviously I'm turning my attention back to Chance.
And he's just, I am sorry, I know the accent is a bit difficult sometimes.
It's fine. It's fine.
I mean, none of the
Can't
rest
help
of us
it.
are having any problem. It's just him. It's a common trait of those from High Forest. They
I just don't have an ear for languages.
I don't know if I'm
People from High Forest are
sad
classically
or
racist.
happy that Storm Peak is not on that map.
So he looks at you at that cog and he goes, perhaps it would be more, perhaps it would be easier if we conversed in Sylvan than in Sylvan.
Ooh. And I'm going to respond in Sylvan. That would be spectacular.
I'm gonna look at Kai. What did he say?
I'm gonna waggle my eyebrows at Leo.
What did he say? What did he say? What did he say?
He looks to Yernan and also says in Sylvan, did you know he was from High Forest? And Yernan goes, I don't know very much about him, to be honest.
All you have to do is ask.
Well, and this is Sean speaking, he goes, my understanding, your relationship has been a little strenuous so far. I don't know that he felt at liberty to ask, should we say.
The whole, I would call it an adventure, but adventure requires some sort of desire and purpose. We've sort of fallen through the rungs of the ladder at this point to get to where we are.
I mean, speak for oh, I can't understand. Motherfucker.
Step!
Not much is apparent, I'm afraid. You are met with a degree of mistrust and scrutiny at this point.
I think that is a fair judgment.
I like how Kyle almost jumped me for telling the people in Autumn Court that we got there by accident. Now he's telling some person he met 30 seconds ago his entire life story.
There's only this much whiskey.
Aerolith is just going to look at them all with her eyebrow, her whatever
Yeah.
our eyebrows for her.
Eye scale.
Furrowed like. You know, it's rude to talk in languages that everybody doesn't understand.
And so he'll
And then
nod.
she's going to repeat herself in Abyssal and Narcotic just so they get the message.
And he will nod to Yerlich at that, and he'll turn back to Cog and he'll say, I am not enraptured with the workings of the court and their politics and their eternal petty squabble as some might be. But I will say this, it appears to me that you're in desperate need of allies, and not the sort of allies that would like to utilize you towards their own ends, but true allies who perhaps have their eyes on larger goals other than who is the current autumn court ruler or how they feel about the spring court. So with that advisement, I offer you also this. Give us something to trust. And he switches back to common. But that is very interesting. Personally, I have not been to the high forest, but people very dear to me have, and they speak very highly of the area. Like, Jude's not too cool for us. He waves. How do I make my kids not too cool for us?
So Cog is visibly going to slowly shift gears from Sylvan to whatever the fuck he's speaking now. So there's a long pause. Fuck, what did he say? I've already forgotten.
He
He's
told.
never been to High Forest.
Oh, okay.
I got banned drinking on this night.
I'm doing well. I drink more than Cog, and I'm hanging in there.
No, this is fun.
I mean, I always figured Cag was lightweight.
I will say we're getting a lot more roleplay in this way.
I think Leah just... Wow. Alright.
Now Cog's gonna get wasted.
The fucking tequila's coming out when you come down.
I can take all the shots.
No, we're all together.
Focus, Cog.
Sorry.
Focus.
Someone challenged me. But also, no, I'm a super fucking cheap date. It's not even a lie.
Yeah, I was gonna
She
say,
challenged you to not get drunk, so.
we could do Jaeger bombs.
Regardless, I win. It doesn't matter.
I don't even know what those are, but I'll
Me
try.
neither, honey!
Jaeger bombs.
I just go with it.
It's
No,
Jägermeister
I've
and
never
beer.
had a Jaeger bomb. So
No.
Jaeger bomb.
Nobody cares. Let's move on.
Alright.
Jaeger bomb is a shot of Jaeger in Red Bull.
Get Red Bull? No, it's not.
Yes,
I've
it
never
is.
had a
Yep,
Red Bull,
there's
so
Red
there
Bull.
you
It's
go.
definitely not Red Bull.
I've been to a
It
bar
really
like
is.
twice.
Are we Googling this right now?
Yeah.
Hi,
wrong.
Felix.
Jaeger bomb.
You're just staring.
No.
Originally mixed by dropping a shot of Jägermeister into an energy drink.
There you go.
Ingredients: half ounce Jägermeister herbal liqueur, half can of Red Bull energy drink.
I've never had an energy drink. So there you go.
Me neither.
That's
you.
just wrong.
I
How did
used
I,
to
beer.
buddies?
frick out of them. I don't know.
High five, Casta.
You do in beer. That's in the
Nerds.
story.
Okay, so, sorry, falling back in character. It's definitely worth the visit.
thought it
I
was a character.
think right now... Jaeger bombs. I think especially once we solve the demon incursion threat, I think things will be better there, especially to visit. The star mounts are beautiful this time of year.
And
I come from the Lost Peaks.
It's mine!
from a question, if it perhaps off
I just made
topic.
up a town.
Off topic.
Me too.
I am under the impression that the Drow often harass the residents of the High Forest. Is this your experience as well?
Yes. They generally will come up to capture whoever they can to use as slaves in various work camps. It's actually how I was brought down into the Underdark on the private material plane. But it's always a game of what do you focus on more, the demon threat as it raises the forest or the drow that infiltrate and harass your people. There's no one that's more important than the other, but you still have to pick and choose where you put your efforts.
an understandable paradox, one that I relate to. Though for what it is worth, you do have allies that also seek to quell the trial, should we say?
Interesting. I'd like to talk about that more at some point.
Certainly, I think that is something I could, she kind of glances over to Yerna once more. Something that is worth discussing. It is fairly common knowledge to my understanding. He looks at Avi. And what would you say is your motivation for seeking these demons, or are you simply looking to get home?
I help travelers. And anything that hinders the ability of people to travel freely is not good. And then she drinks.
She actually stopped.
This is amazing.
Now you understand the beauty of her getting drunk.
And Schultz kind of thinks about it for a moment. He goes, you know, there are people who would see this as simple. But for me, there's beauty in being able to express your morality so concisely. I understand this, yes, I support this. He looks to you like, and you?
Me? I'm here for the party. I mean, I'm
Jägerball.
Literally. I mean, it seems like an interesting challenge to kind of do this. I'm in it for the adventure.
Frivolity, this is very common in the Feywild. This is exactly something I can relate to. And you jump hands checkers, your title, it is Lord, King?
Lord works.
Lord Jackie.
How does a lord come to find himself among the more common folk, as I understand it?
Well, actually, I'm actually quite good at killing things, and the rest of these idiots are not. Need protection.
Speak for yourself, Lord Jackie, because I think that I do just fine with that on my own.
Am I within crown swatting range?
Your ass alive while you do it.
We're a terrible group.
I go back to scratching my back with the stick.
Charles looks over to Yurden and says, I see what you mean now. It is an interesting dynamic without the contention among them.
I don't know what you're talking about. We get along perfectly.
Perhaps things are different in the material plane. I am not one to judge. It is not my homeland, but it is interesting. Yes. Very well. I appreciate you humoring my questions. If you have any, then I am an open book. I can tell you anything that is mine, anything that is sworn to Lord Leon. That I obviously cannot share, but yes, is there anything that I can offer you in return?
Well, have you noticed any demon activity around here?
I have not seen any. I mean, I do not venture very far, but in my cabin and the areas that I watched, I have not seen any demons.
I mean, have you heard of anything? I mean, I assume that some of your own people come to visit you from time to time, make sure that you have supplies.
At this point, at least in the Autumn Court, I believe that everyone has heard of the demon activity, yes. They are popping up in many different places, to my understanding. Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason yet, and I'm just wondering why that is. It's all very... It just seems like more of a harassment so far than an incursion of sorts. But it's definitely worrisome.
Have you found any?
Oh, sorry. Have you seen any incursions?
Incursion? How does one define an incursion? Have I seen any demons? Yes, I have seen a demon.
Activity?
Yes, I have seen activity. Yes.
From what?
Demons.
Like what?
Could you describe them to me? I dabble in demonology a little bit. Can you describe them to me?
I'm tipsy. Describe it to me.
I personally have seen a surprising amount of snakes. I am told they are part of the activity. I know
Wait.
someone.
Wait, snakes?
Yes.
Do I still have that memory?
Yes, you have this. You have the memory of seeing the snakes.
I'm gonna try to catch.
I remember the snakes too.
I'm gonna.
There was snakes.
All right, I was gonna try to catch Leo's eye, but now I'm not. Now I'm looking over at Earless.
I'm sure Leo remembers. I don't remember these snakes.
Your memory is gone from standing in the hut at the Kuatoa to the next thing you remember is kind of like hiding in that little outcropping with your friends. Yeah, exactly. So you don't remember leaving the hut and then suddenly you're back in that cavern.
Okay.
Actually, I'm not sure that Urlith was with y'all yet.
You weren't before the.
No, I think it was actually Jacobus and I. So I'm gonna look at Jacobus because
But-
Jacobus and I saw a bunch of snakes leaving.
But Eurolith, given where you
But I would
were,
have seen
you
them.
definitely would have encountered them as well.
Yeah, I remember just before I joined you all, there were quite a lot of snakes as well.
How many?
But
How many snakes would you? Are they traveling in a direction?
To be honest, these I was not so observant of. They were coming towards me. They were traveling towards me, so this I consider the direction.
Where were you going when they were traveling towards you?
This is something I cannot tell you, I'm afraid.
So and in concern for you and yours, there is a particular demon lord associated with snakes traveling away from his current position.
wait, would Cag remember that?
Because I remember the snakes.
He doesn't remember seeing the Demogorgon, but
We've talked about the Demogorgon after, though.
yes, unless you guys have completely refused to tell him you in any way encountered a Demogorgon.
No, we've talked about it
You
since
just
then.
have no idea.
I mean, we've
Our
talked
player
about
doesn't.
it. I don't think
Yes.
we told him that
Everyone-
he actually summoned it.
No, he doesn't. I don't.
I
think he
didn't summon the fucking Demogorgon!
He doesn't know how it came to be. He knows that you guys encountered it, and theoretically he did too, and that after that you guys encountered that demon and a lot of snakes, but he has no recollection of the plan.
I don't know what he looks
looked
like.
So,
I'm gonna kind of look around the group for affirmation. What is Chance's visual response to me bringing up a demon lord?
roll
I don't think I
an
ever saw
insight
these.
check.
That's what I was trying to remember. Do I remember it?
Because Kay and Jacobs was running around by themselves when they were doing that.
Oh, in which case Davi wouldn't say that.
He puts on a very good front, but you are able to tell that he is strained to maintain it at the moment.
Okay, I'm gonna let him have it.
You gonna kill him?
Right in the neck with the stake. Yeah.
That's not where you stab vampires.
But there's more blood that way. It's fine. I've seen samurai movies before. It's how it works.
Okay.
No.
That's a movie. That's not real.
It's totally not like this at all. Okay. Hey. So if he does not, he is attempting to be not visibly alarmed.
He's attempting to be nonchalant, yes.
Okay. I am simply going to add our last encounter with snakes fleeing an area was very directly linked to the Demogorgon's appearance. I'll leave it at that.
A unfortunate encounter, that sounds to be.
I'm not going to say this outwardly, but I admire his covering his tracks here.
That dog sounds like it weighs about 3 pounds.
What other encounters have you had? My understanding is that you have come across something, I believe Yonin called it difficult to explain in the Feywild.
I didn't understand a word of what you said.
And Yonin kind of sighs and goes, he's asking about what we found in the swamp.
Yeah. Actually, the most interesting thing is that it seemed as if, and my companions may have to help me color this image. I know previously there were ghosts that haunted the swamps, but there was actual orcs there, as opposed to the ghosts of orcs. And as we left, there definitely seemed to be a do I know it's bone meal? Or was that
you guys did determine that.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I knew. I don't know if anyone shared that information, because I don't think I determined that.
I don't know.
No, it's Jacob, I think.
Speak amongst yourselves.
There was some kind of fine dust.
Can I ask
Yeah.
ask a question out of character?
Sure.
Did I miss something when you guys started as to spilling our guts to this guy?
Yeah, I was wondering that too. Thank you.
Why I missed part of that.
Why we're telling this guy our life story for no reason?
Why the hell not?
Nope.
Well, Davi's drunk. And
He
Kari
asked and you answered.
is drunk out of character.
These
I guess
flowers smell really pretty, and this ale is really good.
I just wasn't sure if there was some kind of like truth spell cast
No,
or
no,
like.
no. They're just volunteering it.
So right now we're just sitting in this guy's garden, telling him absolutely everything.
Yeah, we
Giving
met him 5 minutes
Jackie
ago. Think of that. Think of
heartburn.
it.
Okay, so based on knowledge of where we're currently at, go for some privacy here.
And can we do a bio break before we go for privacy?
Sure. The cavern's very large. You could definitely, if you're, asked to move aside, there's the potential of asking him to use his house or just telling him, we would like a minute, because when they left before they went into his house, as far as you know,
garden, I think.
Yeah, they had a private conversation without you being privy to it. But yeah, you could. There's plenty of space that you could excuse yourself and move away to.
I want to be part of whatever privy conversation is happening.
Okay, then knowing that, then to say, hey, Academy members, could we bring it in and maybe have a little
Huddle.
group meeting here?
Hi,
No offense,
Jackie.
Chance, but
Okay, so we'll let you guys, kind of move away. Schultz and Yonin will move over and linger closely and have kind of a whispered conversation about the house, giving you guys plenty of respectful space. And we will cut for bio, and come back and let you guys figure out your life tactic.
Okay,
So-
be right back.
Okay, right back.
Okay.
Am I muted?
Yes.
Damn it! Why does that fucking work?
Is Kai talking?
Yes!
Okay, I guess good.
That really pisses me off. Why is there even a button on this thing if I can't mute it? Frustrates me.
Did you turn off like a mute function in Discord?
Did Leah turn off her camera and go AFK?
It looks that way, yes.
That's interesting. I guess I could go pee.
Huh.
So my family while I'm yours. With your cat. Your cat baby.
Hi.
Why did you even bother to mute it?
How do you? You're muted now.
It makes me feel better when I beat it.
I'm not muted.
No, you're not. Okay, no more drinking for you. No, I'm not getting you another. You go to bed.
Am I muted now? How about now? Can you guys hear me?
I guess they can't.
Ah!
They're fucking with you.
Wait, I think I fixed it. I think I fixed it, guys. I fixed it. You can hear me. Don't fuck with me, Tab.
Tug talking?
You're an asshole, Tab.
What?
I can see my thing light up, so I know.
Nope, they can't hear them, so might as well.
Can you hear me? You can hear me. I hate everything.
I
Tab.
kept saying no, but I was muted because I was talking to Tab.
Oh my gosh. Tab has a great poker face.
He is the worst. That's why he had to walk away. Alright, I think I fixed it. Like, for serious. Now you hear me? Now you don't.
I hear you.
Nope.
Oh, sorry, I'm supposed to
You
say
don't
no.
hear me. You don't hear me at all.
That sucks.
Ha! I fixed it.
I'm not convinced you did.
Trust nothing.
That's what Jacobus keeps trying to tell you guys.
Nah. Achoo.
I'm assuming since I can't see Leah that she's still not here yet.
Hey, fixed your mic.
What you eating, Felix? What you eating?
I'm eating a Panzerotti.
Is that some kind of Canadian thing?
A Maserati?
Googling.
You don't know what a Panzerotti is?
Never
No.
heard of it.
Seriously?
Googling.
Yeah.
That's
Now I have to ask my wife.
that's
That's a
pierogi.
Canadian thing.
That's a pierogi.
No, it's basically a pizza
It's a
folded
calzone.
over.
Oh, calzone. Okay.
Calzones make more sense. Except they're mini.
Yeah, I have a question, and I don't mean this to be like
Interesting.
derogatory or
I'm
anything.
already offended.
Where does the term calzone come from?
I have no
Because I'm
idea.
I
definitely-
have no idea.
Does calzone not come from
Italian.
Italy?
I'm definitely eating an Italian food.
I would assume calzone is
Panzerotti.
Italian.
I'm assuming calzone is American.
I don't know. Google says calzone, place of origin, Italy.
Well, it says 18th century though, so let's see when Panzerotti.
18th century. That's like 200. Like
Well, yes, but food is very old, and it doesn't say how long ago Panzerotti was.
I don't want to
so.
eat old food, thank you.
Panzerotti. See also Panzerotti.
Trying to-
Okay, well, I'm gonna mute again and eat in peace so you don't have to listen.
Calzone
to
is
it.
an augmentative form of the term calza, which means stocking.
Are y'all arguing about calzone?
The noun panzerotto comes from a diminutive of panza, a regional variation of the
It's
Italian
such a
pancia.
strong word.
So it means stocking.
Yes, we're totally arguing.
But Panzerotti's name actually
How
comes
Felix is
from
eating.
little tummy.
It's cute.
So it's Panzerotti is a small calzone. Why do you have two names for it? It's dumb.
Since the mid-1960s, Panzerotti have been a popular fast food item in Canada. Commercialized frozen versions are called pizza pockets or pizza pops.
Is that a Canadian thing, really?
Yep.
Apparently
Yep.
so.
And not pizza pockets.
Wait, so you guys don't have the...
We have pizza pockets.
We have hot pockets.
We have calzone.
I mean, that's basically the same thing. I lived on those things when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that they're that
Okay.
size.
It was a college thing. I'm starving now.
You're always
I had a
starving.
pizzone earlier.
No, I had really good food earlier, so I'm good with that. I just need tea.
I had a
That'd be good.
pizzone yesterday. That's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I
And
mean
then
it's
he
just
pouted
pizza
at
version.
me because it was a big thing, and I ate half one day and half the next day.
She's so sloshed.
But think about how much we're role playing. We took off the edge, and everybody's like, "Yeah, I can talk for my character. It's awesome."
I always can talk for my character.
Too much.
Not often.
Just wait till we're together.
Oh
It's
my
really
god, it's
fun.
gonna be so amazing.
Then we're not gonna do anything because we're all gonna be at Disney.
Shooting tequila.
Welcome home.
So-
There's no tequila at Disney. Listen,
If you'll
you can.
forgive the little aside, we're thinking 2 days at Disney is probably enough for we're just ready to have a break.
Yeah, Disney is exhausting.
So yeah.
That's kind of what I thought.
Yeah.
If you do Disney, you don't
And
want to do
some
it
of
2
us
days
are
in a
old.
row.
Can you buy 2-day tickets? That's separate.
Right?
I don't think you
I
can.
don't know.
I don't know.
I think you. Yeah, I really don't know. I'll have to look into that.
If not, and we did Disney for 1 day, and this is where we're relying on your expertise. If we did Disney for 1 day, which park would be the best for
Magic
a 10
Kingdom.
year old?
For kids,
Magic
yeah,
Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom, hands down.
But I figured
Hands down,
Epcot's
yeah.
my favorite, but for a kid,
Yeah, Epcot has a lot more now, and it's fun, but you know, yeah, I would definitely go with Magic Kingdom.
Let's
That's
put
the
it like
boys'
this.
favorite.
Which one can I leave the earliest?
None of them, because you have to stay for the fireworks show, so you're stuck.
Exactly.
How does the fireworks show, by the way? I looked.
It's
park
really
closes
good.
at like 6, and the fireworks show is at 10.
So the park closing at 6 is happening lately because of the like super Halloween thing. So
Okay.
yeah, so normally it's
It's
open until
usually
like 10
open
or
to
11.
actual fireworks. That seemed
Yeah.
really weird because they close the park at 6, and then they like fireworks.
Yes,
at
we
10.
actually, yeah, they do a on certain days during the fall they do like a Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. You have to pay $80, and then you go, and only some rides are open. There are way too many people, but everybody's dressed up in like a spooky costume. It's not worth it. So,
Okay, good to know.
so
That kind of sounds like a theme for Disney, personally.
So we're thinking, so if we did 1 day with Disney, I mean, that still leaves us 4 days to hang out, go to the beach.
Yeah.
Is Harry Potter worth it? Universal Studios.
So,
She really wants to go to Harry Potter World. Nobody else does in this family, but she does.
I know. I'm weird.
Honey and I'll go to Harry Potter.
Maybe it's not worth it, and I'd want to know if it's not.
So the only time I have been to the Harry Potter thing was actually before we moved here. We were on our way back from visiting Cog's family, and we had a 1-year-old, so I didn't get to do anything. I think Liam and Tiny would be tall enough for stuff, but because 2 of our kids aren't, we just haven't even done Universal yet. Sez might know. But yeah, we do the Disney
that would
thing.
kind of stink for your kids. Then.
Yeah, but I mean, still.
We'll just make them all wait outside the ride for us to all go on it.
We all ride except them. They can sit and watch our bags.
No, that's so mean.
So
Sucks to suck, short kid.
But
Life's not fair. It's time to learn early.
I ride some things, but when we went to Silver Dollar City this weekend, I have to. And yes, I am just tipsy enough that I will admit this. I was too fat for some of them, and it made me really embarrassed. And it was bad.
She was trying to ride that the one the swings that kind of go up and have the chains and stuff.
Dumbass swings.
Listen, those are small though.
And it's like, man.
Those are like kid sized.
Yeah, those
They
were
are.
really small.
And they're like really tight.
I saw bigger people than me riding rides, but it still kind of humiliated me because I had to go on the ride through the line and get off the ride through the line.
Yeah.
And
I
that
can
was
definitely understand
depressing.
that. I can definitely understand that.
I just don't
never
like
been
rides.
a ride person.
I felt really old and fat.
Yeah.
So I'm okay. If we can't do rides, that's okay.
Well, if you do the Harry Potter thing, though, you can. I mean, they have a lot of stuff just with like the wand shops and butterbeer, and there's.
So
all
is Harry
kinds of
Potter
stuff
is
to
another
do.
theme park? This is just rides and same garbage as everywhere else.
I don't. I mean, kind of.
Matt has no appreciation for these things.
And then, like, I know they have like the new Hagrid area, but I don't know a whole lot about that. Like, we just haven't done a lot of Universal because our kids are.
You
so
start talking about
little.
Harry Potter and Cog fell asleep.
I'm sorry, what?
Cog has never read the books, so.
I didn't read the last one. I read all the other ones except for the last one.
Thinking about what cereal I'm gonna eat.
We completely 100% trust y'all's judgment in how we need to plan these 5 days.
Oh, that's a terrible
So-
decision.
I mean,
Okay, let me rephrase that. We completely 100% trust cast.
So.
Y'all are boring, Felix. Let's play.
So yes, so we will totally talk
Really
this.
talk about this more.
I'm just really glad to know that I'm not the only person who hasn't read a single Harry Potter book.
What? Oh my gosh, you're ready to roast? Oh my gosh. Okay, whatever. Anyway. we'll
Felix
move
and
on.
I are just like,
Awesome.
man.
I'm
I've
gonna
watched
tell you
the
right
first
now,
movie in English class.
I have read all the books and watched all the movies.
I have read all
Yesterday-
the books. I have watched all the movies. I have listened to all the audiobooks.
Honey, Leah, and I will go to
That's
Harry
my
Potter.
girls.
We'll go to Harry Potter World with Liam and Tiny, and we'll send everybody else to wherever.
Magic Kingdom.
With,
Take our
yeah.
kids, and we'll
Yeah.
sit around the house
I'm
drinking.
good with that.
Okay.
I am totally good with that.
Okay.
I'm really confused because all of the people who I thought were the oldest in this room are apparently actually just children.
I mean, literally.
Just figuring that out?
Well, Leah is
Yeah.
only pretending to be big. She's about 12.
14.
I'm gonna buy a family ticket to Disney. She can go in with it.
No, we'll put her at 16 so she's not quite such. Well, no, that would make her more jailbait. Never mind.
14.
So, Jacobus, you have
I also
pulled
colored.
your group over to the side. Your
I bring
group.
my stick.
Totally shouldn't have put that chip in my mouth when I did.
Yeah.
Probably not.
That's okay. We'll just keep talking about Disney.
You're regretting Panzerotti now, huh?
No, it just wasn't quite enough food, so I was moving hay bales all afternoon,
That
Yeah, me
sounds-
too.
and we only finished right around the time that I joined you guys in chat, so
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
kind of sucks.
Do you do
Yeah.
marshmallows? Do you do marshmallows? You should do marshmallows.
Oh.
Marshmallows.
It's really expensive.
Wrapping them?
Anyways.
That's
Okay.
That's the only thing to do in Sweden. Nobody does it here.
Oh, there's lots of people that do it around here, but
I guess it's a northern thing.
Googling.
oh, our group is separated from the other two,
Yes.
and the other
we-
two definitely can't hear us.
Yes. Yes, you have moved to like the far end of the garden,
As far as
and
you know.
Yearnin and Shanks are very enraptured in their conversation with each other. Definitely close enough to be beyond friendly.
Okay, so
Is she sitting in his
Jackie,
lap?
Not quite.
Jackie will open the conversation by saying, "What the hell is wrong with you guys?"
What are you talking about?
Jackie! Would
Would
you like some-
Would you like me to cast?
We do
Pass
not
Without?
know this person
No.
whatsoever, and
No.
we've told him more about ourselves and what we're doing or not doing here, or how we didn't mean to get here, than we've told any other person in the Feywild.
I told
Truth.
you that.
Because
He was hitting on Cog.
I mean, legit.
I mean, okay, fair, but
He is cute.
here's the issue I'm finding with our current
You're
situation.
just gonna give Dobby some side eye. at this statement.
Not as cute as my dwarf, mind you.
Your dwarf?
It's what she calls me.
Yeah, I'll tell you later. No,
Focus.
it's not what I call him. Trust me. Way cuter than that.
It's a size joke.
Much bigger.
And I'm sad.
Okay.
Given the current trajectory of our group and the level of cooperation we have demonstrated between letting people wander off into the swamp or fighting over various head decorations, I am invested in solving this problem.
That's a nice sentiment, but can we pick somebody else?
Well, I mean,
Then the first guy we run across after you decide this?
Based on what I'm sorry,
and-
go on, Ayla.
I was gonna say also, it doesn't to me like he has a lot of any kind of power or anything to offer in the way of allying ourselves with him anyway.
He's really bored. He needs excitement.
He knows more than he's letting on.
He's asking a lot of questions for somebody being gate guard, so.
I mean,
You think I've told him everything? You're silly.
That- It's only a matter of time for old Dottie over there.
I haven't even
Wow.
told you everything.
I'm gonna look at Dobby and I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna look pointedly at
you
her
later.
task and kind of.
Do we
Look
have
at the
coffee?
others.
Coffee, anybody?
Despite our reservations with Iernan, I do believe he believes in what he's doing.
Well,
And if
I
he
do
trusts this
believe-
person, I find that to be a fairly good mark of character.
I also feel like Irina may not be the first person we should trust.
Of course,
I mean,
we trust them. They're practically sitting on each other's laps over there.
And they are.
I knew it.
There are definitely some sweet nothings going on.
Oh,
I
look
think
how
Jackie
cute
is
they are.
sad. Jackie.
No one's tried to steal his crown in the past
I want
15 minutes,
Earless
so.
to sit in your lap.
No.
No. Your lip is like, no.
So here's
Please
Here's
remember,
my-
too, and not only that, one of my favorite enemies is actually fiends.
Dobby finds this very hilarious right at the moment.
Lord have mercy.
here's my issue, I suppose, with this guy. He's apparently a gate guardian, and him and Yernin are clearly, which is fine.
There's nothing wrong with that.
He clearly works for somebody, and if I had to guess, works for the Archfey that runs the Underdark.
Lord Dion.
Yeah, you
Or
cut out.
the
Cut
Feydark.
out.
Right.
Lord Dion.
Yeah, he clearly works for this Archfey, who.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he said that he works on it.
Yeah, okay. So, the problem that we have here is we don't. Literally everything that we possibly could about.
You're
And
cutting out
if-
sometimes.
My concern with this guy is that we're telling him everything, and he's going to run back to the Archfey of the Feydark, who we don't work for. Alliance with.
I missed the alliance.
Yeah,
Everything
we-
before
we-
alliance.
Who you don't
We
work
have-
for?
He's afraid
We
he's
have
gonna
no
run
alliance
to
with
him,
him.
And that's
That you have no alliance with.
oh.
and so that he's gonna run and tell him everything. But I mean, reasonably, I could imagine that, seeing as how there was one of Chance's. Well, how would we
People?
say? One of his people
Yeah,
was
the
at
hottie
that
with
ca-
the hottie with the accent. Yeah.
Yeah. I caught you giving her the eye there. So yeah, seeing as how there was somebody at that council meeting, and he said that his lord actually does sit on the council of all
Yeah.
4 of the courts. I'm guessing that he already knows what we're about to start with.
Well,
So we just told him that we came here by accident. So we came here for this purpose.
We told them that we were here by accident.
I don't think we did.
when we came here, we got jumped
Yes,
by
we
certain
told
people in
it.
this group that we should not tell them we were here by accident. And apparently, which was until we met some stranger down the road.
We did tell them that we weren't here voluntarily.
We did
said
eventually tell them, and yes, I own that I had a little bit of a freak out, but I was a little more concerned about our status in the big scheme of things. I'm less concerned, and I humbly apologize. But I think if we're going to do this, we should, and I should have consulted with everyone before I started talking. Fair, absolutely.
Well, I mean, you did start talking into another language and everything, as if we
You could
weren't
be
all
plotting
sitting
against
there.
us. We don't know.
I mean, yeah, I don't know you that well.
It's too late
That-
now
I think-
to...
I think that's the problem, though. I think none of us know each other. And if we're going to pretend to be the Academy and pretend to be here for some
We're not
reason,
pretending anything. We are the Academy. We have a sign over the door and everything.
the sign doesn't make the Academy.
We have a leader of the academy and a assistant leader.
We don't even like each other that much.
I love you, man.
Like, we're going to fail gloriously unless we fix whatever this is, the sign on our door.
Okay,
So
I mean, that
if-
seems so
if that
unrelated to
conversation
filling your
starts-
entire story to
I mean,
my priority
all fine.
is actually solving this problem, because if I can solve this, then I can go home and solve this at home.
I'm in full agreement with you, but again, this guy is watching a doorway.
Then what threat is he?
He can talk to people.
LOD already knows everything that we're set out to do. It's not really a secret that we're bumbling idiots most of the time. If anyone asks
I feel
Irnan,
like Irnan has already told him about how you guys bumble around like crazy things.
You're included in the you guys there, Eurolith. We're all
No,
pretty
I
inept
haven't
at working together as a group.
Well, I mean, give us some time. I mean,
It's been
try it out.
2 months. We can't even agree as a group who's going to wear Jacobus's hat.
I think I should.
Jacobus is wearing Jacobus's hat. But here's the thing. So we've already spilled our guts to this random stranger.
Yes.
Close it. My point now is we need to move forward, and maybe we should actually have a plan we're doing or who we're telling things to.
Agreed.
Okay, so close your mouth.
I
for
think...
now.
So the conversation I had in Sylvan was that if we were going to achieve anything, especially given the current public perception of our group, that we needed real allies. And not allies that wanted something from us, but allies that genuinely believed in us.
If I may interject here, from what I know of the Feywild, everybody's pretty much out for themselves in some matter of respect. They will tell you that they don't have ulterior motives, perhaps to your face. But if somebody tells you they do not have ulterior motives down here, you just have to look harder for them.
Of course, absolutely. But the same can be said for everyone in this group.
Well, of course.
I don't have any ulterior motives.
I mean, I
Everyone
really don't
here
either.
values themselves more than
You.
anything else.
I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
I mean, I don't have any ulterior motives other than to get another great adventure, but
I'm pretty fantastic.
seems pretty likely that.
So what I'm saying is, he's no different than any of us individually. I don't think we're going to make any allies by staying close-lipped and being abrasive with each other in public and pushing other people away.
No, but I
I'd
think we
rather
need
I'd rather
to
get
choose it.
burned on oh well, I guess we shouldn't have said that, than not have any allies this entire path we're gonna walk.
I mean, we have an ally.
No, we
Literally.
have someone that we are indebted
Bankrolled
to.
everything. That's what an ally is.
What is this ally going to get us or do for us?
I don't know, but that's not how you make allies.
Well, let me
Kaganos
let's go
is
back to the
between
beginning
Kaganos
here. Are you
and
saying that to
during long rests?
let's go from the start? Are you saying that from now on, anybody we meet that asks you a question, you are going to tell them everything about how we got here and
No,
what our plans are?
of course not. Based off the measure of this person that I have encountered, I feel like, hey, let's take a shot.
While all this is going on,
We are still talking about the guy that is literally a door guard.
Earless is just gonna keep an eye on Chance and Irnan and making sure that they're still maintaining their focus.
They're maintaining eye contact
Roll-
with each other.
Roll a perception check, Eurolith.
They're staring deeply into each other's eyes, making smoochy faces.
Oh, great.
They're talking to each other.
You can't see them.
If she'd rolled the 20, she could have seen the hand job taking place.
See his eyes roll back in his head.
Shantz appears to be in good spirits.
Yeah,
Yernan
you
is,
just can't see the rest.
Yernan
Loving life.
Yernan is stoic, a bit more reserved and serious about whatever conversation they're having, but they very much appear caught up in their own affairs.
Yeah. Over under on who's receiving.
Oh my gosh, kindness. Anyway.
I'm not saying I'm going to spill my guts to everyone. That's not what I'm saying. And again, my intention was not to expose the group or say something that made anyone uncomfortable.
I'm not saying you're wrong here. I don't think you're on the right track, but maybe we go wait until we talk to this guy's boss before we do that.
I can get on board with that. I want to. I think if we're going to make it while we're here, and it seems like we're here for the foreseeable future, we should step forward with an open hand rather than trying to keep cards pinned to our chest the entire time.
With one caveat, let's not tell them how inept and miserable we are. Like,
they already know that.
yes, but they don't know the extent of it.
Yes, they do. And I'm just gonna quietly gesture in the direction of Irnan. He's watched everything. The whole thing.
Kill him and nobody would know.
I guarantee you, if he can send messages somehow, the Queen knows that we are a bunch of idiots.
Well, we have survived so far, and they have not.
And we have done amazingly well. Thank you very much.
Luck goes so far.
Now you're lying.
Excuse me. I think that we do just fine when we are put to our tests. We have managed to get out of every sticky situation that we've been in, including you guys escaping from drow capture. I mean,
you know, getting captured by drow and escaping is really not as impressive as it's making it sound to be there. That's
and it's a very short comparison to figuring out the purpose of a demon invasion.
well, I mean, it just so happens it was serendipitous that we're all uniquely suited to this particular task.
Yeah, I'm glad you cooked through the sentence and actually didn't break up in the middle of it.
Did I break up in the middle of that?
No,
No.
I meant that in character.
I said it's serendipitous that
Yeah, I know.
we have all come to this.
And I think it's great you can say that with a straight face.
I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I mean, I feel like, let's be honest, okay? I was looking for things. That's how I came to be where I was at. I have been having vision for a long time. That's why I headed to the Underdark. So, my purpose here is the same purpose
Is
as
it
everybody
about a
else.
big mushroom lady? Because I think I've had him.
No, that's just you, dear. I am. Like I said, it's just something that I don't know what it is. I just know that it's not a good thing, and I decided to come and see what I could find out about it. I just happened to run into you guys, and it seemed like a fun group, so.
I don't know how you got that perception.
I'm starting
Yeah.
questioning your sanity at this point.
I mean, really, you should. I've never said that you shouldn't question my sanity.
Okay. So,
Good chat, but I don't feel like we actually got anywhere.
yes.
Kega is going to limit the amount of people he tells everything to about 50% of the people he meets rather than everybody.
That's not how I would summarize this conversation, but alright, fine.
So I.
How,
Okay.
whatever you want to say, though, however, it is too late with Chons. That bridge is already burned at this point.
Yes. What are you folding?
I'm making perhaps a circle. I'm not sure yet.
That is.
That's how you know the DM's bored.
Continue on.
So at this point, we can either kill Chons, or we trust Chons.
Why are we having conversations about murdering people?
I mean, do you have a different option there? We've already told them everything.
How about not murdering him?
That was another option.
No,
We either trust him, or we make sure he doesn't tell anybody what we just told him.
No!
That's literally our only options at this point. But you know what?
Yernan has had our back, and he likes him.
Can somebody take Davi for a walk until she sobers up?
What is the worst that can happen here?
I mean, I
do
low-key am
we
expecting
really want to go down
Dobby
that path?
to, attempt to kiss somebody at any moment now.
Right now, we know that this Lord Dion sits on the Autumn Court. We are under the protection of the Queen of the Autumn Court. Lord Dion can't do anything to us. At least not before it gets to the Queen of the Autumn Court. And there's nothing that Lord Dion could say that is any worse than what Irnan would say about us.
I mean, Iranon can tell us what we've been doing, but we have told this guy basically our backstory about not actually.
I mean, I feel like we've told other people.
The Autumn Court has a certain belief in our expertise that may not have been validated.
The fact that we were able to even address the snakes.
What snakes?
I think is a testament to our ability to aid the Feywild.
I'm not saying we can't aid them. I'm just saying certain things are need to know, certain things are should know, and certain things are just things that maybe nobody should know about, except people that just happen to know them.
All right.
I'm just going to point out that Leo is clearly the second smartest person in this group.
Leo is second best goblin.
Yes.
I want the goblins back.
They just burst in through the gate now.
Roll initiative. This one keeps shouting Ross Bob. No one understands why. Okay. I will not share the true origins of the group here forward. I don't think the Queen of the Autumn Court is easily fooled regardless. I would be very surprised if she believed us at all.
That's fine.
But again,
I don't believe everything he says. That's a professional courtesy we have. Let's not scratch that veneer.
this is the worst system ever. Okay. I will not mention
the world works.
I will not mention the origins of our group again, if that will make everyone here happy.
We got together in Underdark to face the demon threat. Where we discovered it.
So then our story is not that we were captured by Drow.
I mean,
Well, we were!
that's one of those things that nobody really needs to know about.
Are you embarrassed? Are you embarrassed by being captured by Drow?
What happened to you, Leo?
I'm not
You were
proud of
captured
it.
by the Drow?
I'm not proud of it either.
It's not a good foundation for a good working relationship.
Did we need to get a doll and you tell us where they hurt you? Because
The important thing is,
It hurt me, but it's gonna have to be in private.
the important thing is you don't let it happen again. Yes, they too got the jump on me. As much training and practice as I've had in preventing myself from being tracked, I was
don't have any of
surprised.
that. I just don't like when you negotiate things and you get in a relationship, you don't start off with telling somebody how dumb you are.
They already know.
This guy didn't yet.
The way he looked at us when he left that building, he knew.
He didn't know full extent yet.
You know what? I respect your confidence deeply. But
So
Jacobus, all right. I will share nothing outside of my own personal background, and I will leave out the bits that any of us were shamefully captured by the Drow.
we don't have to put it as shamefully captured either. Reluctantly, maybe.
Reluctantly. Yes, we dragged our feet as we were hauled off and thrown into
Heroically,
a jail cell.
Quickly
And
captured.
We only made it out because a very short person was willing to throw a bucket of shit.
Oh yeah, what happened to her?
I don't remember. All I remember is her raging into the ground.
She was a fascinating little lady.
Fascinating.
Well, I was
Not the
thinking
word I would
that
use.
she actually came with us to the Feywild, and I haven't heard of her ever since.
No, I think she boated away during Demogorgon.
Yes,
You wouldn't know.
you're right. I don't remember that at all.
So, Jacobus,
Does that
we
make
will
you
tell
happy?
we will tell people that need to know, and that will provide some benefit more of ourselves, rather than just anybody that we stumble upon.
Yeah, I mean,
Does-
I think it's fair that we ask more questions than we answer.
Fair.
I'm good with that. We can go back to
Also, Dobby, stop
Dragonos'
drinking.
new.
We either need a system where we put Dobby in a separate room, or we get her to stop drinking. None of this is gonna work otherwise.
At least you're not a mushroom.
I'm not a mushroom, I just got an itch.
You tried to turn into a mushroom. You tried to turn into a wolf or a werewolf or who knows what the hell.
I don't know anything about that.
I mean, I don't know what that was, but I should have kept that dragon egg. Regardless.
What?
No,
This is so random.
you should not have. Because you needed it.
Why is anybody encouraging Dobby to talk?
If you do
Really?
notice that as Dobby talks and as loud as it is, that you do start catching side glances from Chance and Yernan.
Yeah,
I give him an apologetic look.
Not the rude sort, but more like there's someone yelling across the room and you're just kind of like...
And Dobby doesn't even know.
Also, out of character, your daughter is trying to sleep.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I shouldn't shout in real life. Sorry.
But you should have a good time, so congratulations on that.
Thank you. I am actually having fun with this.
Oh yeah, same.
Felix quit the game.
Yep.
He got some action I was telling you.
He's like, wait, hold on. We're talking to each other. This is horseshit.
Oh, he's still there! He's omnipresent!
He's not stabbing anybody, he quit.
Just see a pillow.
Felix definitely forgot that he was supposed to put some sheep away earlier, so he's walking to the barn.
Oh no!
No,
They'll probably be fine.
Yeah.
Is
I'd
he
like
still-
to think that, but the dog that's supposed to protect them doesn't like staying there anymore.
Oh.
That's a good to guard dog.
that is what donkeys are for.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Can you repeat that?
I thought that's what donkeys are for.
Protecting the sheep?
Protecting livestock. Yeah, donkeys are supposed to be really good at protecting...
People do use donkeys.
Yeah, Tab. Gosh, how do you not know that?
Cog says, I lived in Alabama for a couple of years. Look at my knowledge.
We don't have donkeys.
Do they not grow in Swedish land? Like,
No, we don't care about donkeys.
do they don't sell them at IKEA, therefore they don't exist.
We have real animals.
Dog is a real animal.
It's like a half-breed.
So at this point, Yernan has finally acquiesced and is holding hands with Shansu, and it seems a little bit more relaxed. The conversation appears to have, eased his bitter persona a shade or two.
I mean, he's been hanging out with us for like 3 weeks, so...
I cast a minor illusion next to him of shape of.
Of what?
I cast a minor illusion next to them in the shape of a heart.
A heart.
Oh, man.
Yernan immediately lets go of Schultz's hand.
Are we done huddling? Did we reach a conclusion? We didn't. This is great.
We got to whatever conclusion we were going to.
I'm just enjoying this ale. Would you guys like some ale?
How about everybody else drinks the ale?
You know, it might help that rash.
Ale?
Huh?
That's not how ale works.
Yeah, it would take the edge off.
What, it's still there?
No.
Did you not get it off? I thought you got it off. Fix it.
Oh God.
I did.
Is Cog falling asleep?
No, he's iPhoning. Cog, pay attention.
Kick him, kick him, kick him.
It was a heart.
Lord have-
People stop.
I'm punching you.
Oh, is that what that was?
Oh my lord.
So a stalactite falls for the cave ceiling. Cog, make a dex check.
I roll a wild magic sorcerer.
Oh God. Anyway, all right. So we're
We
just gonna do a
rejoin
little more-
Chance.
Yeah, we're gonna rejoin Chance and
Okay.
Ernan.
So is the plan to stay the night here?
Yes.
I think that we should,
Alright.
but I think we should ask if that's okay.
Chance.
As I have said, my house is very small, but if you do not mind camping in the garden, there are no predators, nothing that you should have to worry about. It should be a camping rest, but peaceful. There is grass and dirt here. It should be more comfortable than the cave floor.
That's awfully friendly of you. Where are we going exactly?
That is the question that Yonan had brought to me. He said that your hope had been to utilize the waterways of the Feywild to traverse more quickly to the Adam Court, but unfortunately, Lord Dion has ruled that no one is allowed to go any deeper into the Feywild at this time.
And are there any alternative routes?
Perhaps you could traverse the cave system at a different entrance, but I don't think that would be any faster than traveling along the surface.
I have traversed enough cave systems to last me a lifetime. So, Yernan, is there any point in us being here if we're not gonna go anywhere?
Unfortunately, if we are not able to use the rivers, then it seems that we have reached a dead end at this.
Would this Lord Dion able to grant us permission to use it, perhaps, if we met with him? Can we meet with him? Is it possible to meet with him?
It
Is he around?
I can certainly send him a message and see if either I can grant you permission or if he would
cutting
be
out.
willing.
Yeah, it's been a real problem tonight.
Really? I'm sorry, Kaya, let me.
Not
Here.
really.
Hold on. Hold
It
on.
was just the one time in Friday.
Don't do that.
Well, it's not really
was
you up
loud.
until now, but other
Everybody.
people. Yeah.
I can certainly send the Lord Dion a message and see if either he can grant permission or if he can come and meet with you to see if he would be willing to. But in that case, I think it is best that you stay the night.
Well, certainly,
see
but I
them.
just like to know what our plans are for the future here.
That is
We can prepare for it.
understandable. So I did have a question. Hernan was telling me that in the swamp you encountered undead.
Yes.
Yes.
Quite a few.
That is very troubling.
How so? Have you found? Have they been in the Underdark? Feydark?
No, there have not been any undead in the Feywild, but my people are followers of Sahanin.
Ah,
I don't know if this is a name familiar to you.
no.
She is the
Is it familiar to me?
roll a religion check.
I will gladly do so.
I guess I could technically be familiar with it. I'm actually to be good at religion, I think.
Actually, yes, Kai and Leo can also roll a religion check. But you do know this.
Do we need to roll? I mean, being like if I would be really surprised for
If
anyone
you
not.
want to, Gaia.
I can't hear you.
Well, I was just gonna say like anyone who's even ever interacted with Elven
I mean,
culture should know who that is.
I think that's fair. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, Leo and
Should
Kai.
they? I don't.
You.
Well, I mean, if obviously if you lived like in an elven city, then you should know who that is. If you lived in like a
If you have if you're elven roots. Okay.
Okay.
So, Cad, you definitely recognize this name as being the elven goddess. Davi, you are also familiar. You know, not necessarily the teachings so much, you know, but this is a fairly prominent goddess in the elven pantheon. You know her to be, you know, a goddess on the side of light. You know, no bad feelings. You know, just you know an elven deity.
She's elven. She's okay.
You've met nice people who follow her. How about that? Yes,
She's got some good folks with her.
she is one of the Celatren. She requests that her people combat the undead, this corruption of the natural cycle of things, as it were.
I mean, I think combating the undead is a pretty common goal for a lot of people.
You would think.
I'm not a fan.
There are those, though, that would corrupt the gifts and seek their own immortality through their efforts.
Well, there's crazy people everywhere.
I don't know if you are, this is a term you are familiar with. It is one of the material plane. It is the word vampire. Yes?
Vampire, yes.
Yes? Kind of
Yes.
Yep. Nodding.
How would we know if we knew anything about vampires?
I'll,
I was supposed to say, does Davi know anything about vampires?
I don't know.
I'm gonna internally like just.
I mean,
I want to know what I know too.
let's, so if you, I mean, Dobby, I think you definitely would, because Dobby, you travel around so much, and just as you go from town to town, you encounter different cultures and ghost stories and this, that, and the other. So do you know them to be real? Not necessarily, you know, I think unless you've encountered one, but otherwise, depending upon how well traveled you are, I mean, everybody's got a boogeyman.
Is this the point where Kag stabs him in the neck?
So I
Yes.
want to know what I know about them.
How well traveled is your character, Yarlith?
I mean, she's been traveling away from her home for a while.
Her favorite enemy is undead.
Yeah, in that case, I think it is very fair to say that you would definitely have encountered them outside of necessarily being a myth, and definitely you have at least, I don't know that you've encountered them personally, but you have at least heard rumor of their actuality, if that makes sense. I mean, you know how
Okay.
myths and legends and folktales go. It can be difficult to tell the fact from the, the elaboration. But I think that it would be fair to say that everybody has at least heard the story of vampires and, scary things. So.
Contra cool.
Okay. All right.
So.
Heard of them? Yes.
This is as the story goes for my people, their existence is a corruption of the blessings we were given by Corellon and the form that we took from our mother Seraphine. They have harnessed this power, so to speak, and attempted to emulate it in a human form, and nasty things. They feed upon the innocent and prolong their own life through the death of others. It is actually yes.
Didn't see any of those.
It is, well, this is good. I'm glad to hear they are not in the Feywild, but they are not so common. It is another purpose of my people, should we say, to prevent the corruption of our blessings among the material realm. This is frequently what I attend to, why I travel there so much, if this makes sense.
You go to the material plane to kill vampires?
Kill is a nasty word, but yes.
Wait.
Take them on vacation? Take them to the farm? I don't know.
I would not be so bold as to say I have done this
by myself, but I have observed and I have trained and I have spent time in a couple of courts that have been plagued by such creatures.
Wait,
I see.
so what are you?
I am an Eladrin. What did you think I was?
I don't know, with the teeth, the skin.
You are familiar with the nature of the Eladrin, yes?
Yes. You are where you are.
Now this is perhaps we will if you will indulge me, I will elaborate, should we say.
Please.
Corellon, as you know him, he is the father of all elves. He is known for his fluidity in form, in person, in many ways. He aspires to know all aspects of life and to emulate these. His children, the Saladrin, who are gods, they are a little less fluid. At the time they were fluid before Loth, and then they committed more to one form. Seraphine, it is our belief that she is more like us. It is akin to the bats, the evening, the moon, the worship of all these things. And because we are her people, we bear resemblance to her, much in the same way that the Drow bear resemblance to Loth, much in the same way.
Cut out.
Oh, we.
No, you didn't.
Hit?
No, I think that was you.
Can't hear about every other.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Yeah, I think it's your connection.
Come on. All right, hold on.
It's okay. I'll hold up.
No, definitely can't hear you.
Yep, she's gone now.
No.
Just leave her.
She disappeared.
Okay.
Leave her behind.
No, I.
Every man for themselves.
I reconnected.
It's like the motto of this group.
There was a time before so many of the Eladrin drifted to the material plane and became what you know to be the elves, that there were many of us very diverse, very different, more akin to animals. For example, there are those who resemble birds still. I do not know if you in the material plane have the elves with wings, yes?
I'm gonna look
They
at
are
Leo.
the children of air tree, or perhaps the sea elves, those who they have gills, they breathe underwater.
I'm gonna look at Leo.
The Feywild is more pure, should we say. It is my understanding that when the elves go to the material plane, they lose a lot of that essence, that purity that was granted them by Corellon. But for me, we are the children of Sahanin, and this is our form. It is akin to the bats, akin to the form that she used to favor before she was bound to as she is by the falling out and curse of Loth. So, does this make sense?
Yes,
A little, yeah.
it does. I just
Religion is
misinterpreted the form you have
I am
favored.
I am a worshipper of Sahanin, but I am not a priest. So it is I am perhaps not the best person to ask. I am mostly I'm mostly good at convincing people that they should allow us into the crowd, to be honest. So
Allow us into where?
I'm getting confusing. I mean, when we go to hunt the vampire, I am very persuasive, should we say?
Interesting. Okay, thank you.
But this is a very different thing.
He's the bard of the group.
So, out of character question, are we
Yes.
anywhere like close to actually being able to have to rest? Because it's been like 7 hours.
I mean, you guys can, decide to take a break whenever.
I mean, that's what we were planning on doing,
Yeah,
and then
I
we
think-
got to talking to Chance again some more.
Well, let's bunker up And we'll see where tomorrow takes us tonight.
Sounds good. We're setting a guard.
How do you tell the time down here?
It is not so important.
Well, alright. There's a lot of things y'all find important.
I believe, at least in my experience with your non, you will find that you have much more time here than you do in the material plane. You too will find that it is not so important.
Yeah. I agree to disagree. But that's fine.
All right. So I guess we're settling down for the night, or
Yeah.
whatever it is we call this.
Dude,
I got a sleeping bags, circle
yeah,
on the grass.
our
about a
bed
day.
rules and stuff.
Okay, so he'll turn to Bjorn and say, well, will you be staying with them, or if we follow him into the house without saying a word? So,
Wow, shake, wow, wow.
Alrighty then.
He's about to be very fluid.
they could be having a long conversation over
I
coffee.
scry on them.
And they actually are talking.
Oh Lord.
I can't actually scry. I lied. I fireball them.
All right. So congratulations, everyone. We moved 50 feet this session.
Wait, are we ending there? I thought we were just doing our.
I'm fucking tired. I thought we were ready. We're going to sleep.
Go to sleep.
You don't have to
wuss.
sleep.
No, like our characters. Our characters are going to
Well,
sleep.
you. Yes.
It seems like a natural place to like. It's all right. Maybe I pulled the trigger too quickly. I apologize. I just assumed because it's
We gotta
11:30.
go another 2 hours.
Oh my gosh.
So I will say this: you guys bunker down, and Leo,
Oh
as
shit.
you as you find yourself drifting off, you begin to have this vision of this little elven girl. She's very young, and her cheeks are
Give
still
H.
her cheeks are still full with like this infantile plumpness. She strikes you as being 5'6", very very young.
Never
And
telling anybody this.
Wow.
It's okay. It's D&D. It's totally legal.
She still has the remnants of like baby hair curls at the end of her long locks.
Do we need to walk away? Do I need to cut the stream?
I'm fine. A basket hangs on one of her arms, and she kind of hums as she walks through the shadows of the forest. She moves closer to the bases of one of the trees, and there is this kind of cluster of mushrooms growing, and you realize as she bends down to pick them up that this isn't actually a tree that she's approaching, but it's actually a mushroom as well, just huge and tall, and the gigantic top is just casting these shadows rather than the trees, and you notice that the shadows aren't dappled like you'd expect from leaves, and you are indeed actually in this mushroom grove. She crouches down and she begins to kind of like harvest these small mushrooms, and she kind of tucks them into her basket, and she's humming, and she seems very joyful about the whole experience. And then as she plucks about the 5th or 6th, you notice that underneath where she's picking them up, you just barely catch sight of what appears to be something flat and pointed and maybe an ear. Looks like there's some kind of odd shape under the dirt, and maybe even like this glance of like skin. But as she picks up that last one, she kind of steps in front of it to block your vision and turns and looks at you, and looking from her, you see behind her now this kind of tall, slender pink figure, and your eyes follow up. And there you see the fungal queen, the same one that you've been encountering in your visions lately. And she extends her arm towards you, and a very soft voice warms your mind as she says, "Together, we can ensure a bountiful feast for all." And then the vision fades, and you find yourself back in your normal dreams.
I don't think she's worth it, man.
I really don't either. Am I having any dreams? No. I'm
No.
nothing.
Never ask Cassia for a dream.
Well, I mean, yeah. Anywho.
That's probably fine.
It's probably fine.
That's probably nothing.
But no, otherwise it's restful. There are no, as Sean said, there are no sounds really. Even though you encountered some bats on your way in, this general area appears to be unoccupied. No disturbances.
There's like no wildlife at all.
Not in this cavern.
Can Leo play like white noise for me so I can sleep?
There is.
God.
There is the sound of water nearby, which is something that Sean should have mentioned before you headed to bed.
He was busy.
There is a hot spring that is warmed by fire beetles over a few yards away, in case you wanted to bathe. So.
Oh,
I'm naked.
Did Chance actually mention that?
Yes, he should have mentioned that.
Okay.
I'm super naked.
Damn it! I was gonna go over there, and now I'm not.
I wake up and inspect my mushroom patch on my back.
Whoa, easy. I was the one who was naked first.
It has grown back.
Dobby!
And I'm snoring happily. Super.
I go poke her with my foot.
What?
You didn't fix it. You gotta fix it again. Fix it. Itchy.
I already fixed it. Oh my god, I don't want to look at your back.
No one wants to look at your mushroom
Fix
patch.
it.
Okay.
Love
Slap
this
him
fight
on the
over
back. Cast a spell. Go back to sleep.
Eurolith, I would actually like you to roll a perception check for me.
Sure.
Is it because I'm
Is this
naked?
about Cog being naked?
That's what I'm counting.
Roll high.
The bush is trimmed. It's fine. It's clearly
You
visible.
head over and you start to go to the bath, and then you can just see a glimpse of Cog, and you head back to your bedroll. You're like, not even.
Yeah, I don't even want to.
Can we go back to how does Cog trim the bush? Can we look at the logistics of that?
I mean, trimming bushes is kind of my chosen profession.
Are you literally doing like the primal fury there and then claws and...
I turn my claws into shears.
Yeah.
Ooh. Sounds alarming.
I like to call it half-elf scaping.
Oh, escaping. I can't, y'all. I just can't. Oh, but we're doing a long rest, so I get all my hit points back.
Get my
on two
spells
that I had
back.
previous lost.
Yep.
I don't know if I lost
I really wish there was a button that was like, go back to maximum
Reset.
for everything.
it. Well, maybe you don't. Yeah. I used one spell slot.
Same. I used wolves that were then murdered.
I'd only had 2 hit points taken off. I don't know how that happened, but
That was
don't-
Cog got ambushed.
Stub your toe.
yeah. But I mean, I'm just surprised I only took 2 damage.
You might have been healed again.
I might have healed. I'm not sure.
So are we stopping there or are we going on?
Yeah, we're doing a long rest.
Yeah,
Right?
I know that. Yeah, we're doing a long rest. I was talking about the stopping. Right?
It's up to you guys. We'll leave it to democracy.
I mean, it's
I'm
10:30 here, so I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's okay.
Fuck democracy. It's 11:30 here. I'm tired.
Okay, we can pause there. That's a good place to pause. So.
Yeah, some democracy. I decided for all of you.
I thought.
Send Cog to bed and we can continue.
Wow. I get a feeling that was more that
We totally exhausted the cast us notes.
Actually, I have several more pages if you guys want
Oh,
to read
really?
a little bit more.
I'm shocked.
I totally do.
If it didn't just go through all that with a massive amount of progress we made in those.
Let's see. We are on page. You guys. Oh, where are my page numbers in this thing? Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep
Okay,
panning
guys.
down, see if we can do the notes.
You guys got through like 3 pages, so that's pretty good. But I mean, that's mostly because you missed some stuff.
Damn it!
That's
Don't tell
always.
us that.
Alright, we start scouring the entire cave.
Anybody
always
spotted?
happens.
Good, check the top.
But no, really, if you guys want to go for a little bit more, we can. If you want to pause, that's cool. I'm totally flexible.
I mean,
Cog's falling asleep. Send the little boy to bed.
I'm so tired, guys. I've become soft.
you are.
What is that noise?
What is that noise?
It's
I
not
don't
me.
want to know.
It's Tad. Is Tad half elf escaping over there?
Yeah.
Wow. Just wow. I mean, should we spend some of this long rest getting to know each other since
Getting to know.
Ag is so worried that we don't work well as a group?
I'm not worried about it. I'm just stating fact.
You are worried about it.
I mean, there's no place to get to know each other better than in the bath, I'm just saying.
Alright,
No.
mandatory organizational fun
It
time.
worked for Vox Machina, I'm just
Let's
saying.
go to the bath.
My lord.
I start like tugging on people, like, hey, come on, like grabbing like arms and like, let's go. We're
Are you
gonna
doing
have.
this while naked?
I'm flopping around a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Just keeping it real.
Davi's drunk. She'll do whatever.
Yeah. All right.
Just slept.
Wow.
All right. It's just me and Davi in the.
He said he was waking us up and dragging us around.
Oh.
Oh,
Other
lord.
than curing your stupid mushroom sickness, which she's like, go the hell away, that's gross.
That was in the morning after you got your spell.
All right. We're rewinding.
A spell before I went to bed?
We're having
After.
mandatory academy fun time. Let's do this.
Let's cannonball.
Yes.
I will cannonball into the bath.
Are you wearing your crown right
Roll performance check.
Oh,
now? I hope that's based on charisma.
It's
Ah!
a damn good cannonball.
Is there any water left?
Yep, there is. They are both
All suit.
experienced.
All right. I can't follow up that performance, so I'm just hopping in.
Earlith will get in and stay far away from Gag.
Pivotal question: is Jacob still wearing his crown?
Naturally. I mean, it
I mean,
does
I don't know. Can he take it off?
I mean, obviously he'll just hold it while he cannonballs and then put it back.
Obviously.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure his brain evacuates if he takes the crown off. So
Yeah.
it's actually a like polymorphed illithid.
Slowly brain sucking.
Yeah.
Very slowly.
Clarota.
All right, so I had that idea, but now I'm way too tired to make conversation, so I'm going to rely on all of you.
Good job.
What did you have an idea about?
No, the everyone hopping in the pool idea, but I'm too tired to make conversation. So
Oh,
so where's everybody from?
Material plane.
Okay, that's good. That's a good starting. That's like out here. Can we pull it in? Just like maybe we're from the same place. You don't know.
No.
I'm from Storm Peak.
You're from Storm Peak. Whereabouts is that? Because I don't think I've ever been there.
I have no idea, but I'm sure Davi does, and she'll be happy to go into rant about it, except that she's busy, so maybe she won't. I don't know.
She says this along the Sword Coast in the northeastern kind of area, close to the mountain range.
Is Storm Peak is not a thing.
Nope, she made up.
Okay, that's
So
what.
did I. What
There's a Thunder Peak.
I can't partake in this conversation until I actually pull up my background.
Oh my lord.
'Cause I have no idea.
There is a Forgotten Realms map that I am linking.
Okay. So I want you to work with me here.
In
Take
chat.
that Forgotten Realms map. Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you? Are you in main chat?
Yeah. No.
That's a lot of things on there.
Alright.
Also, why is Forgotten Realms half an island?
What do you mean half an island?
This like continues off the map. It really bugs me. Where's the
No.
rest of the map?
No one's
Yeah,
ever
this
been
is
that
just
far.
the Sword Coast predominantly, I think.
Oh, is there more?
Yes. Okay, yeah, this
Jesus.
isn't even the whole Sword Coast. Okay, so wait, you ready? Go with me here. Let me move you guys over. If you take this map and you turn it, okay, I moved everybody on your map, and you turn it sideways, you have the Feywild.
I'm turning it sideways.
I see it now.
See the
Maybe.
big body of water? Yeah.
Right here?
Yeah, you're still on the Sword Coast. Yep.
Here?
Yep.
Ah, that's a spoiler.
So there you go.
Oh. Oh.
It's kind of mind blowing.
There.
Wait, north isn't north.
North isn't north. North is east.
Fuck this place. That's really gonna mess me up. Like every time I think about
It's
this
the
map now.
Feywild gag.
It bothers me now.
Okay. You should. That's the whole point.
That's what
Thank you
made
for
it.
sharing that. Now I am forever perturbed. Okay, so she lives by where? Casa? Waterdeep?
Wait, what?
You said she lives.
No, she's from Storm Peak.
Yeah, no, but where did you say that was near? Northwest.
Oh, I was saying that it was up kind of like in the rolling foothills of the. If I remember, I think Dobby's. I think you came from like a hilly kind of region. Am I right?
Yes, she's a hill.
So like, so let me look up the real
Could
map.
be like
So think
Mirabar, where the spine of the world is.
north of High Forest, close to like.
Where the hell is High Forest?
It's like it's the giant forest in the middle of the map.
Okay, so hold on.
I don't know. She got rid
Oh,
of the
there.
map.
How do I reroll
Rid of the
this?
map.
It's linked in the
Oh,
chat.
okay. Hold on. I'll change it. I'll change the other one back.
That was the Feywild map.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was
the one
the
linked in
Feywild
chat.
No, the Feywild map won't help. It's too small.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
And the
effort.
Feywild map. Okay,
Opening
so
Discord is too much effort.
okay,
You're talking in Discord.
so okay, so since you guys are all super knowledgeable now, okay, guys. So there's High Forest that you know about, and
I know.
what?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and then Evermore. So she's kind of like over here near where like the Ice Spire is and that kind of area, like over in kind of those foothills from the mountains. That's kind of where she's from. The Mare of the Deadmen is in the same location as the swamp that you guys recently left. Go left. Or west. West. More west.
There's water there.
Go north.
The Fields of the Dead here?
No, north.
But
Oh
there's
wait, that's Highmore.
Highmore.
Yeah, you want to go north more. You should see on the coast. Follow the coast. Left. Okay. Do you see down Mare of the Deadmen? There's a little blue dot by it.
Oh, that's it.
That's it.
Yes, that's the same as the swamp.
Oh, but there wasn't water there.
No, okay, so it's a swamp in the on the Sword Coast too, because it was forest and it was flooded when Inyarv.
Man, I didn't even need to make a history check. This is awesome.
This is really small. There's a lot of dots. I don't
You
Okay,
can zoom
It's
in.
also not really important. I don't know why.
Put it on the mouse, and then zoom in.
Like
Where's
really.
High Forest is smack in the middle, and it's mine, and you can't have it.
Okay.
If
So
you say so.
here we go.
Give me next. Where I'm from.
Where is Dobby from again?
Dobby is okay. So Dobby's kind of in the northeastern area, kind of like in the. She can either be from like the northeasty kind of area where like there are the foothills from the mountain range, or if you want to be closer to the coast, she can be from the northwestern area too.
Just depending upon what you want. This says that this little forest area is called Silvery Moon, and on other maps it says it's called Silver Wood, so I am dubious about this person. I have read way too much Forgotten Realms lore.
It probably depends on what time period this map is based off of.
That's probably good.
Whether it's
Hold on, let me look up a
I
Sword
don't
Coast map.
see high forest here.
It's a
Yeah.
big ass forest.
the
in North
largest forest on the entire map.
Okay, this goes from like mountains
I
to
see it.
forest. It doesn't really have foothills.
There's
Well,
foothills.
We're gonna pretend.
There's foothills around the Kingdom Many Arrows. There's foothills around Castle Hartwick and the Ice
I would
Spires.
say maybe she's from the area of line of the Kingdom of Many.
Citadel Adbar or Abdar.
Okay, let's say that there is.
you're like a suburb to Mithril Hall there.
I mean,
Or maybe the Plains of Standing Stone. I don't know.
where's the most likely place in the mountains that a city of Dragonborn would be?
Probably the Sponge of the World.
We can honestly.
Raven Rock.
I mean, I think there's just like Dragonborn, Forgotten Realms.
I don't think. Yeah, I think it's kind of in there. I like how some of these icons on here is just a thing that says the name of the word next to it. Like Anarok.
So when you guys got captured, I don't think I even have the same one up. The technical location of the jail cell that you were in was actually under the Evermore. So really, despite jumping realms and all that, you guys haven't traveled that far.
Okay, where is Wait, so we were at.
The top, just north of the High Fort.
Okay, so I don't want. I mean, I would have traveled quite a ways before heading into
Okay.
the Underdark. So
You can get into the Underdark from anywhere, though.
Yeah, there's kind of.
That's true.
The Underdark's kind of everywhere.
I don't know. What about? I mean, does it matter? If it doesn't matter, then what about? Because there's a lot of mountains.
Yeah, and even though I kind of pull loosely from Forgotten Realms lore because that's where we started, I'm also not attached to it. Yeah, like if you're like, this is a kingdom of Dragonborn, I'm like, okay.
Because
Well,
some
there's
Forgotten Realms really makes no
I
sense.
got it. So the Stormhorns really ought to be. The Stormhorns and the Sunset Mountains probably have a lot of Dragonborn because there's like literally a lake of dragons at the base of the mountains. Let's go there.
Okay.
Where are you?
Where are you?
The
Yeah.
Stormhorns.
That doesn't tell me anything.
Sort of them in the middle. There's a Sunset Mountain.
Oh, there, yeah.
And the Stormhorns.
Oh yeah, okay, I see that.
There's
Okay.
the Lake of Dragons, and so that's where I'm from.
So in that case, Eurolith,
Is it French?
the geography of the Autumn Court actually is pretty familiar to you because that's right around where the Autumn Court is located on the Feywild side. So
Why is the thing for Lake of Dragons written in French?
It's not.
Because Chance drew it.
Where? It says Lake of Dragons.
Click on the blue thing.
Oh.
Oh. That's weird. I didn't know you could do that. Let's go.
So based off of what I'm reading, the Dragonborn were transplanted from another world. Like their entire continent was transplanted into the world of Faerun during the Spell Plague.
listen.
I love Forgotten Realms.
I know. On a landmass
It's so
called.
up its own ass, it's not even funny.
I know. On a landmass called
Also in French.
Laracon, which is not even connected to the Sword Coast. It's actually a giant landmass to the west of the map that I linked. But there is an Underdark there, so it's possible that if you went through the Underdark from there, you could have gotten to the main landmass.
I mean, she can fly.
Or you can just be from wherever the hell you want because your DM said so.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just
Yeah.
elaborating.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I had gone down some really deep rabbit holes trying to make sense of Forgotten Realms lore.
It's like at one point I tried looking up the God of Magic, and I still have died like 4 times.
Yep. Yep.
Sorry, Casta, that I picked something that's not even on the map.
No, it really doesn't matter.
No,
It
pick
really
where I'm
doesn't
from.
matter.
Because I have no idea.
Am I the only one that went with something like Baldur's Gate?
Yeah. Congratulations. Well, Kaga did.
I don't think Rafferty has anything yet. Yeah,
I
Kaga
think
has
Rafferty doesn't
time
have a background, so.
more.
I sort of like the idea of her being from the Stormhorns, because that's like hills and mountains, but
So-
it's storm related.
Go
That's
for
the
it.
only reason that I like it. It's by the Sunset Mountains.
Listen,
But that's where the Dragonborn city is. But I mean, I guess there's no reason why dwarves couldn't be there either.
But
They're probably at war.
yeah,
and then you
Because
guys.
they also grew herbs, and I mean, they grew crops and stuff.
we should go to Cholt because there are dinosaurs there.
The Stormhorns are where Dragonborn are from.
Yeah, well, that's where
That's where
city
Leah
Earlith is
decided.
from.
That
They're
was
from.
what Leah just decided.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you said the Sunset.
Well, the Stormhorns the Stormhorns is right above that Lake of Dragons, so.
I think it would be kind of funny if they both found out they were from the Horns.
And then Kad feels vindicated because he's like, let's talk to each other. And suddenly you guys find out you have things in common.
See?
I mean, like I said, I mean, it looks like a pretty decently sized mountain range, so I don't see why it wouldn't have a couple of cities, maybe even.
Yeah, it's probably at least a 2-3 hour walk.
Her clan is from there, though. But it doesn't have to be from there. I just thought that was funny. But there's also Thunder Peaks to the east in Winterhaven.
Also, you're a hill dwarf. Why don't you be from like the far hills or something? What the hell?
They're hills. What do you mean the far hills? What do you mean?
You're a
See, the
hill
Thunder-
dwarf.
Oh, the Thunder Peaks would be a good one because it's kind of not super far, so we would be like
Where are
kind
the
of
far
close in
hills?
the same area.
Next to Sunset Mountains. Between the Sunset Mountains.
The far hills.
Yeah. Thunder Peaks would make sense too. I can see Stormhaven being part of Thunder Peaks.
I don't know. Never gonna come up again.
I don't care what you think. You don't count. Besides, at least I'm not in a spider.
Pretty sure I can.
woods. And then we're close. We're like just across the valley from each other.
And that's how they became sisters.
Yeah.
Sisters.
It's Forgotten Realms, Alabama.
But I leave it up to the Casta's judgment.
I'm totally cool with it. I'm really, listen, Forgotten Realms lore is nuts. Like, it's, I'm trying to make sense of a lot of things. It's like trying to make a cohesive Marvel universe.
I'm pretty sure it probably made sense. Fit everything else in here now.
Well,
there's
I
robots,
like
and they're from
Thunder
here.
Peak makes so.
I mean, Kage's from High Forest because there's literally a portion of it called Silverwood, and it was like, well, that just sells itself.
That makes it easy.
So you're like Johnny English.
What?
You're named literally after the place you were from.
I mean, it's one of those,
Steve,
like,
New York.
I can't have Dad's name because he won't give it to me, and it's a very sad story.
Wow. That's
So, thank you all for joining me on this lore excursion. I think we can presume that the Davi and Aerolith figured out that they came from almost the same place.
Okay.
yay!
Do we find out where Kage is from?
Yes.
He already
Okay.
said where he was from.
Yeah.
Where?
He
He's
comes from
from
High Forest.
I missed that one.
I was a sentinel of High Forest.
Okay.
That's
Where is-
what he said during roleplay earlier.
Where is
Okay.
that one at?
I
It's-
think you
Up in the
technically
north.
said that in a language.
No.
Oh, that's up
No, I said it
north.
initially in common. High Forest is the giant forest in the middle of the map.
High Forest, it's pretty common knowledge, is kind of like this last refuge for magical creatures. It's one of those places where you find unicorns and griffins and
Giant elk.
yeah, and the elves live there, and it's
T-Rexes.
yeah, it's
She said it.
no.
She said yeah.
I've seen T-Rexes.
It's that place that hasn't been touched by mankind yet. So when he says I'm from High Forest, everybody goes, that makes sense. So
It's until the humans built a fucking road through the middle of it.
does Jacobus tell them where he's from?
I mean, we're bonding,
Oh.
Jacobus. We are
Seen
bonding.
Mithril Hall too. where-
Did Felix get a haircut?
Yeah.
He did.
Jacobus will tell them that he's from.
That cut out.
You cut it out. You'll never know.
Appropriate.
Jackie, please tell us so I can.
Die happy.
Waterdeep.
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 Where's
Okay.
Waterdeep?
It's
on the
odd they
coast.
said Baldur's Gate earlier.
Can Earless do an insight check?
Wait.
I
Wait.
thought we were trusting each other.
Did he say Baldur's Gate earlier?
He did say Baldur's Gate earlier.
I wanna do an insight check.
Roll an insight check against Jacobus is either persuasion or deception, depending, and you can roll privately if you want, Jacobus.
Ooh.
He does not appear to be forthcoming.
Yeah, I call. You don't seem like somebody from Waterdeep. I've been there before. I don't think that's true.
Shenanigans.
No, I think that's right.
Shenanigans.
It's close enough.
No, I don't know. I don't feel like.
Come on, Jacobus. Where are you from?
The Seven Hells.
I don't know if dwarves come from these mountains down to
No,
They do now.
now they do.
We're making this all up. Everything is made up.
It's just a map. Forget the little dots on them.
Yeah.
So
the.
I
Looking
mean,
at the map.
where are you from, Jacobus?
Because she also had like this whole giant thing going on, and
He is from Baldur's.
Inside check.
Does my insight check hold now that he's on it?
I think we would have to go for round 2 since he's
Okay, I'm gonna go for it. See if he's telling the truth this time.
okay. Deception or persuasion, Jacobus. You believe
Oh.
him.
All right.
Not really sure why he lied the first time, but you believe him.
Well, that's
Yeah.
true for every time he talks.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about that. I mean, we're supposed to be making friends here.
Yeah, we don't like Baldur's Gate people, clearly. That city is massive, isn't it?
Baldur's Gate?
Yeah.
I think so. I think Neverwinter's supposed to be the biggest city? Waterdeep's supposed to be the biggest city? I don't know. But yeah.
Interesting.
I think Waterdeep's supposed to be the biggest city.
Oh, really? Okay. So that's where you were a soldier?
Why are you asking so many questions?
Because we're getting to know each other. Jacobus.
Because we don't know who anyone is here, and we can't trust each other until we have some idea of who we are.
Well, I don't see you interrogating anybody else, but yes, that's where.
Well, none of the rest of us lied the first time we ever asked where we were from.
That you know
I mean, it makes sense that, Kaganos is from High Forest, and, I mean, Davi,
I can kind of see Davi being from the Great Peak Mountains too, because it talks about.
Davi hasn't decided where she's from yet.
Davi has fallen down the forgotten realms.
She has alcohol-induced amnesia.
I have so much sympathy for you right now.
I was clicking dots.
This is why we research our characters.
No, it's impossible. It's impossible because I start trying to research something and then I end up with like 11 tabs. I'm like, wait, what happened here?
You never want more than one tab, I promise.
Dead Stone Cleft and the Stone Giant stuff, and it's Grey Peak, which also matches with Storm Peak, and it kind of fits. So I can see that too.
how close is that to Storm Peaks?
It's
She's moved way on.
northwest of Stormhorn, southeast of High Forest.
Baldur's Gate has 10,000 people in it. It's also the only one that's listed here with the population, so that's very useful.
Well, bonus, if you look at the city just to the red dot west of the high ice, it's in French.
Yeah. There's a lot of these around French.
Where?
Chance will translate it for you.
I guess.
I didn't see
Chance
the
has settled
high
all these
ice.
places.
It's a big ice.
Oh.
Chance made this map.
All of these are in
Let's see.
French. Really kind of sucks.
Where is the storm? Peak?
Gracklestug.
Peaks are just south of there. Okay? It's just southeast. If you look at High Forest and go southeast, you'll see a red dot. That's the Dead Stone Cleft. Great Peak Mountains is just south of that.
For comparison, Baldur's Gate is the same size as Gracklestug that you guys visited.
Really?
Yeah, apparently so. But Gracklestug's population dropped significantly in like the 15th century.
Oh, I was gonna say. I thought you were gonna say
Yeah,
when we left.
While we were there.
Yeah, you don't know that yet.
Oh shit!
No, don't worry. I'm sure no time has passed.
Wherever we go.
Lord.
It's fine. Nothing goes wrong when you go to the Feywild.
Nothing.
I think the Grey Peak fits for the best, so that's actually around.
There is a
Okay, so
town
we're
called
not anywhere
Sistartistan.
each other, which really stinks now. It's just
But you're both travelers. You're both travelers.
Backtrack and go to the Thunder Peaks because I don't want to upset Leah.
But you're both travelers, so you probably have a lot to share in terms of where you've been and
That's
what the best
true.
food
Yeah, I
is.
guess, but Leah wanted to be neighbors.
That's the only way relationships start is if you're neighbors. Everyone knows that.
Time.
Yeah, also, Davi is like 200 years older than you.
so.
Yeah, she's not been home in a long time, and she's 178 years old. So, she's probably been around a little bit. So
Hey,
say that
you do
she
you,
traveled-
girl.
Yeah, I know. You're jealous. And you'll say she traveled from the Great Peak Mountains south towards the Stormhorns because it's an interesting name. So, there you go.
I can see Tommy saying it's an interesting name.
There you go. I mean, I'm a Storm Peak. It's Stormhorns. It makes sense.
Does it?
It does. Don't you even start there. Does it? Don't you even start. Leo, and I met Leo somewhere. Got kidnapped by these stupid dumbass drow.
Oh
A
man.
3-hour tour.
Exactly.
I mean, it might be 3 hours if we're not the ones role playing it. Okay.
What is Jackie trying to persuade us on?
Where he's from.
Yeah, I was.
He's very convincing, actually. I believe that I'm from there.
I don't.
He was definitely telling.
He was definitely telling, and then you